quality seems to be really clear on here. I think if you like reach through, we could touch hands. What do you say? Put your hand to the screen. Oh, baking soda, apple cider vinegar. I have both of those. Try it out today. So, you know how you can go and buy the like dry shampoo, which has a bunch of other crap in it, like a bunch of other crap. One of the things that a lot of times, like that concept comes from just putting a light dusting of baking soda on your hair because it absorbs the excess moisture. If you have particularly dry hair, it might be a little too harsh for you. But my hair gets pretty oily pretty fast, and I like to touch my hair a lot. So, baking soda brush, like I just take a brush and brush it through a really light layer of it, and then I rinse it, with water. Leave it on there for a few minutes. I rinse it with water, and then I do an apple cider vinegar rinse because that returns a little bit of moisture, and like it doesn't, so you don't strip your hair. And the apple cider vinegar works as a detangler and works as it strengthens the hair, I think, as well. I really like to mix the apple cider vinegar sometimes with a tea, with things like rosemary, which is strengthening and makes the hair grow longer. Nettle, which is really good for the scalp and makes the hair grow longer. Like I said, I know how to make my own shit. I just haven't been doing it, and my hair has been suffering for it. So whenever you see my hair end up looking flat like that, just poke me and be like, will you stop using the fucking store-bought shit? It doesn't look good on you. You're right, it doesn't. Hi, June. Good morning. Welcome, Instagram and YouTube. You made it to the party. Thank you, friend. Bright Morning Star. Apple cider vinegar also stripped out old shampoo and cream rinse. Apple cider vinegar also, you're saying it also stripped away like the other stuff from other products? She's real. I know and I believe. Ryan, I adore you. There are a handful. Is this a simulation? Are you awake? That, my friend, I cannot answer for you. This is the experience. This is tiny yoga. Yeah, a good regimen like that, a good natural regimen can take out years and years and years of toxifying your hair and putting a bunch of junk on it, and it creates a buildup. That's the problem. That's why those products make it so heavy, is because it like sticks to the hair. And yeah, anyway, yeah. Mine does way better. Mine does way better when I'm just using basic stuff. And I only do that once it starts to actually look and feel oily. When it starts to like, so I don't have like a regular, this is how many times a week I wash my hair. I wash my hair based on the need of my hair. So when it gets that like flat, heavy, oily, I'm like, okay, I've been touching my hair too much. My hand's been dirty. I've been playing in the dirt. It's summertime, right? I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then yeah. Beer is also really good. Yes. Hops is really good for the hair. It's so hard to smell vinegar, Nicole. So the way that I deal with that is by mixing it with a tea. And you can like change the ratio of vinegar too. Make sure you're using apple cider vinegar, not white vinegar. But you can change the ratio. I always add tea with my vinegar. That way it has a nice smell to it. You can use mint tea. You can use, it's still going to be vinegary, but it can have another smell along with it. Honey is really good, but oh boy, is that a process to honey your hair. Eggs is really good. Mayonnaise is also really good. I like to use lemon to lighten my hair and cinnamon to darken it a little bit. I usually add, yeah, depending on the time of year. You're welcome. Yeah, okay. That's why I love this space, right? We come here for yoga, but we chat about hair products, natural hair products, natural alternatives. What to darken? I use cinnamon. I use cinnamon, but I know there's other ones that do it better. I always like to add something a little bit like clove or tea tree to help, because that's really good for the scalp, dry scalp. I love you too, Somalia. Okay. So, if any, is that a Highway 1 tattoo? It is. It is a Highway 1 tattoo with some poison oak over it right now, but it's the Highway 1 tattoo, yeah. Yeah, my favorite drive in the world. Okay, so, TikTok is here. Instagram is here. YouTube is here. Discord is here. It appears The whole gang has arrived. Now, my friends, for those of you who are new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, an interfaith minister, and your shenanigans shaman, because do we talk about serious things in here? Yeah, but we do not take ourselves too seriously. No. And at the moment, I am just barely getting out from underneath an attack by a blue healer and an 8-year-old boy. I was getting out of bed this morning, totally just going about my business, just everyday normal life, right? And then out of nowhere, this blue healer comes running from underneath my bed, jumps up onto my bed, and curls himself up next to me like he's a little spoon. And he truly believed he was. Every time I tried to, my alarm was going off at the moment. That's what cued him, apparently, to my existence here in bed. Every time I went to reach to turn my alarm off, he grabbed me with, did you know dogs can grab you with their arms? They have arms and paws that are workable enough to grab you with them. I think I was stuck there for a harrowing 15 minutes. I caught about 10 of it on video. And right as I finally escaped the snuggling healer, the snuggling arm-grabbing healer, the 8-year-old boy rolled right in his place. I barely made it. I barely made it out alive this morning. Yeah, Nicole, yours grabs like a human can. I did. I made a video about it. Just in case I really was late to class and you guys came looking in my content for where did she go? What the hell's going on? I'm stuck. Someone send help. Okay, but I came on here. This is the danger every time. Every time I come on early, you guys, we end up engaging in shenanigans before I even get, like, the tech set up. It's a bad influence. No, not really. I love it. Okay. But I didn't even get yoga planned today. So, if you guys have anything in particular you would like to request from yoga class today, let me know. Chris, you still need proof of what? Of video or of my existence? Or of shenanigans? There's a lot of proof of shenanigans. For example, I found a magnesium creamer, little powder thing, that has a blueberry lavender flavor. So if you want to talk shenanigans, let's talk about how I am drinking a blueberry lavender coffee. Yeah, I made it home. That's exciting. I don't know. I'm excited. You need proof. Yeah, video. Honestly, I think they serve you for real. You guys are the best. There's proof. I promise, Chris. It's uploaded. Okay. Tell me what your needs are this morning, if you have any of them. Scarlett, hello. Tamara, what's up? I'm going to set up the angles here. Oh, you want to see the creamer thing? Sure, yeah. Nope, that's fine. You can't have the whole thing, but yes, you can have some. You need to wash a cup first. Okay, I know you guys have told, I've said before, we have a grocery outlet in my area. If you have one or something like it in your area, I highly recommend going to them for like your supplements, alternative stuff, healthier foods, and things like that, because what ends up in those grocery stores is the stuff that doesn't sell in other places. Oh, you sweet dog. Come here. Come here. So you'll get these things a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. Let's see. So it's called Four Sigmatic, and they have several different flavors, and you can use them with your coffee. Hey, Beth. And you can use them in, I don't have any affiliation with this company at all. It's really just, I found them. I love them, and they're normally really expensive, but at the grocery outlet, they were like $8-10 versus like 20-something, 30-something. So this one is magnesium and calming herbs, which you can tell by my pace, it's working really well. No. But with my coffee, I thought, I just like the flavor a lot. And this one has ashwagandha, tremella, chamomile, and lavender. And it's got organic banana powder, pineapple fruit juice powder, blueberry juice, lemon juice, blue spirulina, and organic monk fruit extract. So, oi, 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 mijo. So I really like them. They're delicious. There you go. Uh-oh, quick. Ooh. Okay, take that outside to open it. All right. I guess you're just gonna come in and out of. Okay. All right, dog. All right. Okay. Is that light back there too bright? Nope. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Brighten up the place. Is that Whole Foods? I don't know if it's Whole Foods. You're wanting to try to optimize minerals and electrolytes. Chris, the older I get, the more of a hippie I become. I always was one, and I never really fit, and it's really great to see the world like returning to it. And I'm like, yay, I fit in again. Hippie was out of style. Not just style, but, you know. It was all about convenience. I don't think it's from Whole Foods. You love Four Sigmatic. Nice. A little Celtic salt daily is great too. Yeah, I actually use Celtic salt and clove oil as a mouthwash. You put it, just make a salt water basically, and put the clove oil in it, or your tea tree, or whatever other things you want to use, or yeah, and mix it. I actually was going to add activated charcoal. You can buy a big bag of activated charcoal and mix it right in there, or with your tooth powder. Should we just have another session? Should we just talk about herbs and alternatives for hair and food and whatnot products today? Rising from the ashes. Hello. Good morning. Yes, yes, Ryan says. Hi, Dream Baby. We are just getting set up for class, but it's almost feeling like we're just going to skip class and sit here and talk about herbs and fun things, which, if anybody protests, let me know. But we might at least go through. We always hang out after and talk. What are you guys talking about? Get your butt in your seat, and we're going to do a little bit of tiny yoga. Nice try. You guys try to sneak out of class. This is what I mean as far as like a parent goes. If I lean any direction, it's on the permissive side, because this is how my child gets me. He like walks me down there until I am ready to give him the thing that he wants, before I realize that I had a boundary and he's not getting the thing. And I was like, yeah, you almost got me. Because I'm usually just like, yeah, sure, whatever, kid. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you want to go? Yeah, go ahead. Whatever. Wait. There's like conditions we have to set and cooperative discipline and things like that. Damn it. Anyway. So, we will get into some tiny yoga. All you need for tiny yoga, again, hello, for those of you new here, my name is Reverend Deborah. This is our tiny yoga class. Tiny yoga is a 30-minute gentle flow for every body and every space. And I'm still setting up the flow this morning because I got attacked by a snuggly healer and 8-year-old boy. So if you have any requests in particular, I'm waiting for Trey the drummer to show up, because he always asks for Kapalabhati. Otherwise, we'll just go through a nice little 30-minute flow. This is not an advanced class. You don't even have to have, it's a class created for limited mobility and limited space. It was born out of living in the RV, and we are now back in the RV, so class gets to happen where it was intended. Okay. I like to write my things out just as a little cue to remember where I'm going, but I might just forego it and we can just move through the body. Because I'm only... Ground, toe heel, wiper knee, kiss. Hi, Airbrush Vigilante. Are the toes painted? Yes. Yeah, they are. But they seriously need a new paint. Seriously need a new paint job. Okay. What time is it? 17? Okay. We'll start here in just a couple minutes. We did Brahmari breath last week. Does anybody have a request for breath work? I'm not really inclined to do Breath of Fire just because Breath of Fire is warming and it's been quite hot outside and I'm quite susceptible to that heat. So we could do a cooling breath. Oh, I know. The kids are out there, babe. Oh, it looks like they're leaving, though. Thank you guys for the gift. Cooling breath would be nice. Okay. Okay, I got it. We're ready. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? I'll tell you guys. I'll be honest with you guys. My feet have been getting so much fucking attention on all these different platforms that I'm thinking about creating their own TikTok channel and painting little faces on them so they can have their own fucking show. Because if they're that popular while just sitting in the background here, I think they deserve their own social media channel. People do it for their dogs. People do it for their pet, for their chickens. Why can't I do it for my dogs? Right? Right. Beware. Beware that is the kind of shenanigans that comes out of this. Thanks, St. Osterberry. It's been getting a lot of love. So we just spent the first like 20 minutes talking about hair care and nutrients and things like that. So, welcome everyone. It is 10:22. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to get yourself settled. Find the edge of somewhere to put your butt. All you need for class is somewhere to put your butt and enough space to move around a little bit. You don't actually even need a lot of space. So, let me know, guys. Hey, Bill. Let me know if the sound is too much with the windows open. We can swap it for the AC, but I need you guys to give me that feedback. Are we ready to go? Is everybody live? Everybody's live. I've just been fucking around for the last 25 minutes. Okay. Find the edge of your seat, and when you do, I'm going to invite you to start the practice with a mudra. YouTube and TikTok. Or YouTube, I see that you guys are still having a little bit of an angle issue. There we go. All the way out here, guys. Okay. We're ready. So, our mudra for this week is the Ashvaratna Mudra. My Sanskrit is not perfect, so if you know somebody who knows how to pronounce better, definitely let me know. Hey, Magic, how are you? All right, our mudra. Hang in for just a second. Hang out and get your mudra for the week. This is the mudra for perspective. And this is something that we all could really benefit from right now. This is the mudra for perspective. Bring your palms together. Keep your pinkies and your rings and your thumbs together. Interlace your pointer and your middle finger. So your mudra will look like this. Once you have the fingers in the proper position, bring this to your chest and create a little space within your palms. You can just kind of create the space by opening the palms a little bit. You can also open the base of the palms like that and hold it that way. Either way, this is our mudra for perspective. Again, the story that I got the other day. What are you doing? Okay, all right. Don't tell me about it. I don't need to know about it. Thank you. Perfect, you got it. The story the other day that really sparked this one was my son, who brought me a story. He came outside all excited, and I was sitting out in the hammock. He came outside and he said, Mom, 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 you know that Whoville is just this little city on a speck of dust, right? You know that this tiny speck of dust, right? And I was like, yeah, were you reading Horton Hears a Who? He goes, yeah, but listen, that means the Grinch is from Whoville. That means the Grinch is just this tiny little guy on a speck of dust. Why is he so scary? Why do we make him so, why are people scared of him? And I had such a hard laugh. It took me a second, but I had such a hard laugh because I was like, what a great perspective shift. That big, green, scary Grinch who's going to come steal your Christmas, he's literally a speck. He's inside of a speck. He's like tinier than a speck of dust. Sometimes our problems, sometimes the things that are challenging in our life, we perceive as much, much, much bigger than they really are. Both in our personal lives as well as in the world. So I encourage you to take time with this mudra. Remember that we usually sit with our mudras for a minimum of 5 minutes because it takes about 5 minutes for the energy to circulate through your entire system. Mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. So we're going to start our class by sitting with this mudra for 5 minutes, and we're just going to breathe while we sit here. And then we're going to move into the rest of our movements. So one more time, if you missed the getting into the mudra in the first place, bring your hands together, palms together. Keep your thumbs touching, your pinkies touching, and your ring fingers touching, and just interlace your pointer and your middle finger. Create a little bit of space inside the mudra between your palms or by opening the base of your palms, and anchor it here at your chest, at your sternum. All right, go ahead and close your eyes if you have not already, and just bring your attention to your breath. You can start with several deep breaths if you'd like to. You can just start by listening for the sound of your breath. I encourage you to get into this practice in whatever way feels most appropriate to you. The intention here is to slow down the breathing just a little bit, elongate the breath, and allow everything else to fall away. Remember, in this space, we are cultivating our attention. So we're developing the habit of sitting in this space and allowing everything within us to quiet down. The more you do this, the more it will resonate within you. So let's really give it this 5 minutes. Inhaling the breath to fill the belly. Feel free to sigh or to give a little moan if it feels appropriate to release tension in the body, in the mind, and in the breath. On your next inhale, lift the heart and elongate the spine. Find a nice posture. And as you exhale, tuck the chin ever so slightly down toward the chest. It helps to keep the head from floating away. Big, deep, expansive breaths. Opening the rib cage, front, sides, and back. Filling the belly. Breathing into the low back. Breathing into the collarbone. Allowing the mudra to do its work. If you've been watching the breath for a while, I invite you to check in on your mudra. This is one that can collapse on us sometimes when the attention gets taken away. So bring the attention back, bring your intention back to the posture, and then return to the breath. It's perfectly natural in this space for thoughts to arise, worries, fears, negative self-talk, tension. This is all tension, even thoughts, little tensions in the body, in the mind, little skips of the breath. This is normal and natural for these things to arrive. When they arise, you meet them with curiosity and willingness and let them fall away, just like the breath. Inhale, exhale. Everything with this rhythm. The heart rises and falls on the breath. The thoughts ebb and flow with the breath. The body expands and relaxes with the breath. The exchange of oxygen, inhaling and exhaling what we no longer need. Find this rhythm within you. You can stay with your mudra if you would like. Otherwise, we're going to move into our practice today. So you can go ahead and release the mudra and place your palms face down on your thighs. You can keep your eyes closed for this part if you'd like, or open them if it's more comfortable. Just bring your attention down to your feet. Start with the big toe on your right foot and wiggle the big toe of your right foot. Whether you're barefoot or have shoes on, wiggle into the ground. Press a little bit and then release. Move to the second toe on your right foot and press and release. Third toe on your right foot, press and release. Fourth toe, press and release. Fifth toe, press and release. All your toes, give them a wiggle on your right foot and press and release. Move to the big toe on your left foot, press and release. The second toe on your left foot, press and release. It's okay if you cannot isolate them. It's more about the intention. Third toe on your left foot, press and release. Fourth toe on your left foot, press and release. Last pinky toe on your left foot, give it a little wiggle, press and release. Wiggle all the toes on your left foot, all the toes on your right foot, both feet, all 10 toes or more or less if you got them. Press and release. Move your attention down into the balls of your feet. Press into the balls of both feet. And then roll gently, trying to keep the knees where they are. We're not trying to roll the knees open. This is just in the feet. Move the intention, move your attention to the outsides of your feet, giving a little bit of pressure into the earth as you move around the outside of your foot and into your heel. Gentle pressure. We're not creating tension. We're not trying to squash a bug or hurt anything or anything like that or dig a hole with our heel. It's just intention. Press gently into the earth with both heels as you curve around to the bridge of the foot. Pressing the bridge down into the earth before leveling out and pressing the entirety of both feet with intention, connecting with the earth. Keep that pressure there for a moment. Feel the connection. Feel the connection in your feet. Give your feet a little bit of a wiggle as you release, and you can either, again, keep your eyes closed or open your eyes at any point. Go ahead and begin wiper knees. Swipe the knees back and forth. Swiper, no swiping. Swipe the knees back and forth like a set of windshield wipers. You can keep your hands on your knees, or you can move them up to the hips here. We're going to lift our toes, we're going to lift our toes. Inhale to lift the toes all the way, toes and the whole front of the foot. So only your heels are down on the ground. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, heels up. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, heels up. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, heels up. Find a nice rhythm, probably not that fast. You can add the hands if you'd like to. When you inhale and bring the toes up, send the palms forward, open all the fingers, stretch the hands nice and wide, palms facing forward. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, drop the hands for the palms facing in, open the fingers, and lift the heels. Inhale, toes up, palms out. Exhale, heels up, palms in. Get a nice stretch in the wrists, in the hands, between the fingers. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Release and take both hands, interlace your fingers underneath your right thigh. Inhale, pulling your knee up as close as you can, squeezing it into your chest, and then reaching down for a little bit of a kiss. As you exhale, give your knee a kiss. Thank you, knee, for being so amazing, and gently release. Interlace the fingers underneath the left thigh. Inhale, pulling the knee up and squeezing it to your chest. And exhale with a little kiss. Thank you, knee, for being so amazing, and gently release. We're going to move to the other knee now. Again, right knee, inhale, lift the knee up, squeeze to the chest, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh at whatever point is available to you. We're going to get into the low back a little bit here and open and okay. I always get distracted with this piece because this is really important. Please flex the right foot. When you have your foot crossed like this, please flex the foot that's on top. It's going to protect the knee joint. And it's going to help isolate so you can feel it more in your back and in the hip rather than pressure on the knee. So, right leg crossed over left thigh. Flex your right foot. Interlace your fingers, send them up into a palm tree. And as you exhale, reaching forward, bend over that crossed leg and just stop wherever it feels right, wherever your boundary is. Take several deep breaths in this space and see if you can exhale a little bit deeper into the stretch. You can be resting your forearms on your thigh if that works, or if that on your whatever it's called. Man, the words are not wording. Inhale, slowly roll all the way back up and interlace those fingers underneath your thigh. Gently release the right leg. I'm going to move to the left side now. Interlace your fingers underneath the left thigh. Inhale, pulling it up and squeeze. Bring that left ankle, cross it over your right thigh. Flex the left foot. Yeah, my feet are already dirty this morning. Flex the left foot to protect the left knee. Interlace the fingers and send the palms all the way up towards the ceiling. With an inhale, and as you exhale, tip forward at the hips into a fold. And just relax into this fold wherever it works for you. Again, if you're fully in, great. If not, and you're out here, relax. Try to relax the tension in your back. Try to relax the tension in your shoulders. Watch for tension in your jaw and in your neck. We're just taking several breaths to get a little deeper into the space. Inhale to slowly roll up. Release that left leg. Ground the feet again. Bring the knees shoulder width apart. 90-degree angle so your knees are over top of your ankles. And then we're going to move into a little hip tilts, okay? Inhale. No, not inhale. Don't match your breath. You don't have to match your breath. Lift one side and then the other. Lift one side and then the other. You don't even have to lift them completely off the chair. We're just moving a little bit with the upper body, but mostly focusing on hip tilts. Tilting the hips in particular. Getting them up a little bit off the seat. Okay. Come back to center, and we're going to move into some cat-cow. So you've got your palms facing down on your knees or on your thighs. Inhale, lifting the chin, send the chest forward, tip the hips so your tailbone is coming up like you're going to wag your little tail. With a nice inhale. And exhale, tuck the chin, curve the spine, tuck the tailbone, send the body back. Inhale, lift the chin, chest forward, roll the shoulders open. Tuck the hips, lift your tailbone, wiggle your tail. And exhale. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, push the body back. Inhale. Don't inhale a fly. There was an old woman who swallowed a fly. Tiny yoga. Focus. Exhale. Go for a couple more rounds here. Inhaling for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to neutral. Interlace your fingers behind you for a little bit of a camel. So you can either interlace your fingers and just keep them in a fist and use them to open the chest, to tilt the shoulders back, send the chest forward and lift the chin up. Not so much the hips here, mostly the shoulders and the neck and the upper back. Release. Interlace your fingers again into a palm tree, send the palms up and sway to one side. Get a nice side body stretch here. We'll go deeper in a minute, so just hold on. Come back up to center. Deep breath in and exhale. Sway to the other side. Get that nice stretch in the right side body. Try to stretch all the way down through your arm, through your armpit, through your side body, and into your hip. Back up to neutral. And as you exhale, tip back to the other side. This time release. So if you're tipping to the right, release your right arm down to your seat or the edge of your chair and lean into this nice and far into your side stretch, using that lower arm to support your body. And in this space, tilt back and forth a little bit, open your chest and look up towards the ceiling. Lean forward a little bit and turn your head down towards the floor. Tilt your head up, open the chest, turn your head down, lean forward a little bit, and then gaze forward as you inhale back up. Release the arms. Bring the palms back together for another palm tree sway. Palms up. Exhale as you tip to the other side or your left side if you're following me. Release your left arm down to your seat or to your bed. And get that nice, full, deep stretch in the right side body. Hold your stretch here for a moment and breathe. Opening the rib cage. And then gaze up towards the ceiling. Lean back and open just a little bit. Gaze back down. Send the body forward. Allow the shoulder to tilt with the head. Tilt open. And tilt forward as you gaze down. Tilt up and open the shoulder. Gaze down and let it fall a little bit. Inhale back up. And release the arms. And we're going to move into a couple of twists before we finish up here. So bring your palms together at your chest. Take a big deep breath in and turn the torso to the right. Turn your torso as far as it can go to the right without using any pressure. And then release your arms, the left arm to the outside of the right knee, the front knee, and your right hand behind you on the bed or the back of the chair or the bench or whatever it is to twist a little bit deeper. As you inhale, come gently out of your twist, and as you exhale, twist in. It's really important here to do a couple of things. Keep your spine nice and long. Lift through the top of your head. Tuck your chin just a little bit so that it's a little lower than parallel to the ground. Keep your knees facing forward, ideally at hip width. You don't want your knees to move with the twist. This is just for your spine. Gaze over your right shoulder, so you're gazing behind you. Deep breaths here, giving the spine a nice massage, a nice wring out. Take one more big deep breath. And as you exhale, slowly release. Please don't spring yourself back. Slowly release to the front. And we're going to go for the other side. Bring your palms together at your chest. Inhale. And turn just your torso to the left. As you exhale, open your arms, placing your right arm on the outside of your left knee. Placing your left arm behind you and gazing over your left shoulder as you deepen the twist. Keep breathing in this space. Each time you inhale, allow yourself to come out of the twist a little bit, and as you exhale, deepen into the twist. We're not trying to pop the spine here. We're not trying to give yourself a chiropractic adjustment or anything like that. Just focus on the alignment, on the elongation of the spine. Focus on keeping the knees where they are, the hips where they are. Isolating just the spine here. Big deep breaths. One more inhale. And exhale to slowly come back to center. Go ahead and give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle. Roll them this way, roll them that way. Shake them out. Lift them up to your ears, squeeze them up to your ears, and drop them with a Squeeze them up to your ears, all the way up to your ears. Try to close your ears with your shoulders and then give them a one last time. Inhale, pull them all the way up. Squeeze them up to your ears. I swear I can close my ears with my shoulders if I just try hard enough. Let them go with a whew. Roll the neck. One direction and then the other. Gently. Just warming up the muscles, saying hello. No need to make any real adjustments. Just finding where the neck is at today. Swaying the head back and forth. Tilting the chin up and down, tilting the head, looking, gazing over each shoulder, side to side, tilting the ear down to the shoulder. Feel free to move through any of these or stay with any of these as long as you need. When you feel complete, we've gone from toes all the way to the top of the head. Well, to the head, I guess, the neck, huh? We didn't really do any face yoga. You want to get some face yoga in here? All right. Actually, we're going to get a little face yoga when we do our cooling breath. So, there are two options for cooling breath today. That little 30 minutes got me sweating already. So, let's do some cooling breath. There's two options that we're going to use today. It's either Shikari or Sitali. And it's up to you which one works for you. So, Shikari is done by inhaling through the teeth, like so. Try to maintain awareness about your jaw. You don't want to put tension in the jaw, right? You just want to bring the teeth together and inhale. As you exhale, put the tongue on the top of the roof of the mouth and exhale through the nose. So it goes like this. The other version, Sitali, is the same thing, same effectiveness. It's a cooling breath, and it is done like so. Curl the tongue into a little taco, and you inhale through that like it's a straw. Inhale through the tongue, and then place the tongue on the roof of your mouth, and exhale through the nose. This is how to do a cooling breath. Sitali or Shikari are both cooling breaths. They're pranayama practices that are intended to cool down the system. So I figure they're really good for summer and particularly good after we've moved our body. So we're going to spend just 5 minutes with our cooling breath. Go ahead and pick your cooling breath. Again, you can do Shikari, which is through the teeth. Exhaling through the nose. Or Sitali, inhaling through the tongue. Exhaling through the nose. Both times when you exhale, place the tongue gently on the roof of the mouth and exhale through the nose. Seal the lips. Inhale through the teeth or the tongue. Exhale through the nose. Okay, like I said, guys, we're just going to spend 5 minutes on this. It's 10:50 now here in Pacific time, so go ahead and close your eyes, or don't. If you're driving or doing something else, you need your eyes open and you don't want to close them, go ahead and just keep them open. I like to close them. I'm going to alternate between them. You're welcome to do so too if you'd like to, but I encourage you, if you're new to these breaths, to sit with one for this 5 minutes. Are you doing some breath too? Come here. Come on. Good boy. Okay. If you were practicing Shikari, remember inhaling through your teeth. Remember to watch the tension in your jaw and in your face so that you don't create tension with this practice. And same with Sitali, if you're using the tongue, inhaling, do your best not to create tension in your face or in your neck. Watch for tension in the mouth when you do sitali with the tongue, because you can, if you're holding the tension too tight, it can make it difficult to do the breath after a while. So try to keep your lips and your face and your cheek as relaxed as you can while you do the taco tongue. And feel free to experiment adjusting the tongue so that you can release the tension in the face. Keep going. Anytime your mind gets busy, just bring your attention back to the breath. Chris, you can lay down. Yes, absolutely. We've got just one more minute. Fair warning, guys. TikTok is asking me to verify, but it won't let me see an image to verify. Hopefully it'll allow me to keep breathing for your 1 minute left. Alright. Hopefully you guys can still see me. Can you guys still hear me? See me on TikTok? It's not letting me verify. Yeah? Okay, good. Oh, there it is. Yay! Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. Thank you all for joining me for Tiny Yoga. I hope you enjoyed your cooling breath and your mudra. So the mudra, again, hold on, let me get my, not you. I just need some squishy pillows. JJ, okay. So there's two different versions of cooling breath. So Sergio, all you know is downward dog. We actually don't do any downward dog in Tiny Yoga. Replays are on YouTube. I keep them up for a week. If you'd like my replay archives, I do have memberships available here on TikTok and on Patreon. If you'd like to work directly with me, I have one-on-one sessions here available with membership here on TikTok or on Patreon. If you'd like to join us for group coaching, I have memberships for that here on TikTok or on Patreon. This is my full-time job, so there is a tip jar on Patreon as well, and I always appreciate the support that you guys offer, not only the financial, but also sharing the live, sharing the content, telling your friends, engaging, and helping me cultivate this space where we can learn and grow together. So thank you all so much. And curling the tongue, is it beneficial? It is important to that practice so that you can receive the cooling effect of the breath. But again, there are two different versions of it. One is with a curled tongue like this. You inhale through the tongue like a straw. Then you place the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, close the lips, and exhale through the nose. The other one is called shikari and is done with the teeth. Inhale through the teeth, and then again, touch the tongue, the roof of the mouth, and exhale through the nose. So, both are equally effective. I personally like the tongue one more, but I will say I notice that I get cooler faster when I use the teeth one. It's like a personal air conditioner. Do you know that you can actually heat a building, right? By using, there was this cool thing that I was watching about clay pots. They're using clay pots because clay pots maintain a certain amount of moisture, right? Just like the mouth has moisture in it. And they would layer them like a wall with these little hollow tubes of these clay pot looking hollow things so the air could come through. When it came through there and went through the moisture, it cooled the room. It served as an air conditioning. Hey, Trey the drummer. I don't do Reiki on lives. I don't do energy work on lives. I don't send energy. Yeah, I don't do that. However, if you guys would like to, thank you, friend. If you guys would like to go over like Reiki hand positions and such, we've been doing mudras for months and months, probably over a year now. But we could also, I'm happy to show you different Reiki hand positions if you want those. We can talk about energy work. We can talk about how to do energy work on yourself. Or how about drag? I don't have my outfit today for drag. Trey, I was looking for you in the beginning. Dragon breath. Yeah. Dragon breath. I was waiting for you in the beginning. I even mentioned you. If you go back to YouTube today and you go and watch, you'll hear your name. You're very welcome, JJ. My Reiki worky Wi-Fi? What? I did get a certification in the Usui lineage of Reiki, but the energy work that I practice is more influenced by my family's lineage, what I gained there. And so Reiki, I can teach some of the hand positions from it, but again, for me, the hand positions are not really the foundation of energy work. The foundation is cultivating your energy body and your connection to prana. When we do Reiki or any energy work, we're not supposed to be using our energy system. We're supposed to be using divine prana. So if you are receiving energy work from somebody and you're feeling like it's kind of sticky and weird and doesn't really feel right, it may be their energy that they're using, not divine prana. Further, if you are doing energy work or feel like you're doing energy work and it is draining you or making you exhausted and this kind of stuff, or mentally overwhelmed or any of that, you are using your finite resource of energy. It's not intended to be used. My finite resource of energy is my finite resource, and I can use it in certain ways, yes, but when we're talking energy work, that's not what we're supposed to be using. So please be mindful. Please be aware. Please be intentional when you are picking people to receive energy from. I know there's a lot of people on social media. You can scroll through pretty much any platform and find somebody pushing their hands towards the screen. So be discerning. Be discerning. Am I live, Jay, tomorrow? Yes, I am always live on both YouTube and TikTok, unless TikTok kicks me off, which happens sometimes. And then I'm usually live in another place. Right now it's been Instagram lately because we've been seeing a lot of activity over there. But I'm always open to another platform. I know that people really love YouTube because it can cast and we can do other things with it. So we'll pretty much always stay YouTube and always stay TikTok. Beth, hey, I almost prefer not to find it online. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've been doing energy work again since I was little, well before we were doing this stuff. And I have not there's very few people that I have had a really good experience receiving energy from. And part of that is because those people I connected with outside of this space. So we developed a kind of connection. I'm very hesitant with the black mirror. That's what this thing is here, right? The black mirror. It's not a clear mirror. It's a dark mirror. And I know that it distorts our energy. So again, it's just important to be discerning. It's important to be aware. It's important to cultivate your sense of awareness so that you are really making a choice, a conscious, intentional choice about what you're receiving, about what you're doing, about what for real, what energy vibe you get from me? For real, you might get it. I don't do that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be reaching out to your energy. And again, I'm not dismissing anybody who's doing this stuff on these platforms, because there are some people who have very real, genuine skill and connection and ability. And I'm not going to try to deter you from finding those people. However, I will never reach out to your energy through the black mirror. If you feel something like that, it is not me. And be mindful when other people are offering that to you, because you are potentially inviting their baggage, their emotional or their energetic baggage, their energetic stuff. Well, thanks for making sarcasm out of my sentence. I mean, I just appreciate you. I just thought it was funny, for real. What energy? I'm sorry. I'm the Shenanigan Shaman, my friend. For those of you who new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister and movement facilitator and your Shenanigan Shaman, because we do talk about serious things in here, but I don't take any of it. Well, that's not true. We don't take ourselves too seriously, because we recognize, right, the gift that playfulness is, the medicine that laughter is. And when we can approach each other at least with curiosity and willingness, we offer ourselves the opportunity to grow. We offer ourselves the opportunity to expand, to have a deeper understanding of others. Hey, Jake, tomorrow you made it into the Discord. That said, too, if you guys like this content, if you guys appreciate the classes, if you guys appreciate the stuff that I post, or if you have questions about any of it, I encourage you to come join us in the Discord. We have a Discord space. You can find the link in my bio. There's a link tree. I am at Move with Change on Linktree, on Patreon, on TikTok, YouTube, Move with Change. Facebook, Instagram, Clapper, Lemon8, X. I think I'm in all the places. Although I'm even on Reddit. I just don't use it at all. So I'm Move with Change everywhere that you hang out, but I hang out in Discord. And I go live reliably on TikTok and YouTube and usually another platform. Hey, Fernando, how are you? So keep an eye out for the shenanigans, right? On whatever platform. Again, replays for today's class, replays for all classes are available on YouTube pretty much immediately after class. So you can go right now and watch this part, but you might be able to watch the other stuff too. And those are available for up to a week. If you want access to all the replays, the archive, you can grab a membership. User 263-8860-473795. Could you spiritually vibrate yourself out of your RV? I am not the Flash, and I am not that advanced of a yogi yet. But my son and I we do talk regularly about, well, in this space too, we talk about quantum mindfulness. Because these practices of mindfulness that we are working with have the ability to shift our reality on a quantum level. Hey, Haley. Trey, I adore you. 1, I'm not doing Kapalabhati during the summer. It's too hot for me. Personally, it's too hot for me. If you go in my content on YouTube or here, you probably can search Kapalabhati or Breath of Fire or something and probably find a practice where I've already done it and shown, yeah. But it's too fucking hot for me. I'm not doing it. And I adore you for asking repeatedly. We did cooling breath today. That was on the docket today, cooling breath. If you want to add rolling your shoulders to any breath work, you're welcome to do that. And maybe one of the things we'll do after we do mudras for a while, then we will do some pranayama practices and go through a bunch of different pranayama practices. But for now, I am working on quantum shifts in my reality. So could you spiritually vibrate yourself out of your RV? There have been record over the years of yogis, people using mindfulness technique, meditative, these techniques, to do all manner of things, from levitate to produce smoke or fire from their fingers, to warm a wet blanket in the snow, right? Or meditate completely, just with a loincloth in the snow. Not go without food or water for a very extended period of time. Have experiences. Essentially, they call these yogic superpowers. And the paradox, however, is that if you seek out yoga superpowers, if you seek out yoga for the superpowers, you are less likely to achieve them. If you're seeking them as the outcome, you are less likely to achieve them. In our seeking, we often lead ourselves away from the being that is available to us. We understand that in quantum theory, that we can view the universe as, well, once upon a time we viewed the universe as a stage, as a kind of stage, where space and time were the constants, and everything else moved within this stage of space and time. I forget the name of the individual who developed this theory, but I believe it was actually Einstein who proved that space and time are not static. They are relative. Space and time are relative. So, to what? To light. And your attention is a kind of light. In fact, your energy, your body, emanates a very low but a kind of light. Space and time are relative to you. Shit. Okay, if space and time are relative to me, what knobs and switches and dials do I change so that I can vibrate through the wall or travel through time, right? We start with those foundational pieces, the foundational pieces. Your intention, aligning your intention with your values, with your truth, with your desires, with your needs, with that kind of stuff. Being clear about your intention and bringing your attention to that again and again and again. When you are sitting in meditation, any kind of meditation, the first thing that we cultivate is our intention and our attention. Once we cultivate those, then within that space, anything that arises, we meet it with curiosity and willingness. With curiosity and willingness, we're not meeting with judgment. We're not creating tension. We are creating space for whatever arises to rise and fall without attachment. Curiosity and willingness, there's no need for attachment there. There's no need for judgment. There's no need for a story. There's no need for shame or blame or anything. It's just a, interesting, a thought. And we watch it pass by. Oh, mullet cookie, I'm super excited. Science degree, Josh, yes, space and time are relative to the observers. Science degree here. So that's what I talk, we talk about mindfulness in that way, right? Relative to the observer. If I shift my breath, or if my emotions shift, they shift my breath. If I shift my breath, I can shift my emotional state. So awareness, shifting my experience of space and time, is about cultivating that inside here. It's not about me changing the world, right? The world's not going to, I can't control the world. I can't make everybody be quiet for me to meditate. I can't make things stop happening. I can't make space and time out there stop for everyone. Again, I'm not the Flash. However, try this, right? Right now. Look away from the phone and look around the room that you're in. Find everything that's red. Every single thing that's red. And I don't mean glance at it. I mean give everything your focus. You're looking for something important. Red, red, red. It's imperative that you find red. Find every bit of red. Keep going. Go back over the same reds if you need to. Okay, orange, orange. Everything that's orange. Everything that's orange. Yellow. Everything that's yellow. Green. Everything that's green. Pause for a minute on a green thing. Really observe the color with your eyes, with your ears. Is there a sound? If it made a sound, what would it sound like? Does it have a smell? If it did have a smell, what would it smell like? Give that green thing that you're looking at right now every bit of your undivided attention. Meet it with curiosity. You do not know this thing, not as much as you think you do. There is so much more to know. Meet it with curiosity. Be willing to see it new and different. Tell me, does that thing that you're looking at look different to you at all? Engage your senses in your environment. One of my favorite daily mindfulness practices is just to stop what I'm doing immediately, like wherever I am, when I think about it, to stop and bring my entire sensory experience to right here, right now. And meet everything with curiosity and willingness. And in doing so, I let go of all my old stories. I let go of all of my expectations. I let go of my attachments to things. There's another meditation that I will share with you guys that really, really helps get into that, what I like to call the quantum mindfulness space, because it's where we start to change our experience of time. And when we go deeply within ourselves and begin experience mindfulness on a visceral level, then you will experience the space. Shifting of your space. Holly, girl, this is awesome. It is. This is how you truly gain a sense of freedom. How you truly gain a sense of autonomy in your life. Is when you control your experience of space and time. Sorry, I missed a couple of comments here. Thank you, Josh. So I went to college for more than 12 years, university, and then a bunch of certifications, not science-based, but more psychology and human development and wellness and philosophy. I really love mixing the science of like human development with the development of the chakras and things like that. I love weaving those things together. So if you have any inkling to chat with me more about it or to share your insights or your understandings, I would deeply appreciate it. We have a Discord space that if you're up for it, you could come to the Discord and I can pick your brain and we can chat about it, because I like the overlap. If I had probably followed my heart, I would have gone and studied like the science-y, like really gone to the Heart Math Institute or the Maharishi University where they're studying meditation and with electrodes and all the things. And I probably would have gone into that because my mind really likes those pieces. So I would love to chat more with you more about it, Josh, if you don't mind. Real Z Speed, you asked for my Cash App. Yeah, my Cash App is the Linktree, the link in my bio. Linktree at Move with Change is my handle thing. The Cash App link is there. It might also be just written in my bio. I think it's Rev REV MWC or something like that. But it's available several places on my Patreon, on the link tree. I think it's in my bio here. I appreciate anything in the tip jar. Also, if you want to support my work right on a regular basis, I have memberships here on TikTok and I have memberships on Patreon as well. I am at Move with Change in both of those places. Thank you, Bridget. You like the doll in the background? That was a gift from a friend, Sally. My son and I are moving back into the RV, so I will show you guys, actually. This used to be a full-size bed, right, in the RV with very little walking space around, and I have turned it into a 2-bed with a ton of storage and a desk and bookshelves. And I'm really excited about it. It's, you know, I'm not a professional carpenter, but it does good. It's good. Love my gauges. Are they real rock? They're not rocks, son. They're wood bees, laser cut bees. Thanks, Bridget. It was a lot of fun. I really love doing it. I've done it several times with different RVs. Thanks, babe. Thank you, guys. Also, the John Monroe Institute. Let me write that down. I actually enrolled in the Maharishi International University last year to try to go back to school because I really like learning. My brain loves it. It just tickles my brain. Tickles my synapses. But I couldn't go, and they're in Iowa, and I was like, well, I would like to go, but only if I can actually get there and sit in the lab with them and do the studies with them. A study I really love on brain, I think it's brain chemistry or neuropathy, or it was a study on abnormal psychology, and they scanned the brains of, they used the brain scans of a couple of like very famous like serial things, unalivers and whatnot, and crazy people like that, people who were certifiable, like those guys. They used their brain scans, and then they used a control group, right? The story goes, I was watching this documentary, you guys may have seen it again. Should I be scary back again? I would love to go to school my whole life, Bridget. Bridget, I actually met a woman in my early years of college who was in her 70s and still going to college, and she said exactly that. She goes, actually, I found out that if you just keep going to college, you don't have to pay back the loans. I was like, oh my God. She goes, plus I get to learn forever, so here we go. Holly, out-of-body astral travel. I do he's John Monroe. Okay. I have worked with astral travel and a little bit, but I do more of what I call dream journeying, which is it's like a midpoint between astral travel and going beyond meditation. I got distracted there. I was telling you guys something else. Oh, it was the study. Okay, all right. No, this is good. All right, this is good. They use those brain scans, and they use the control group. And the documentary I was watching, one of the doctors who was doing this was talking about how they needed an extra person. They were one person short for the control group. So he just threw his brain scan in too. And they were all anonymous, so you couldn't see whose was whose. And they took all the brain scans, and they held them up against one of the things with the light in the back where you can see the brain scans. Well, there was one extra psychopath brain. And everybody was really like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? So they go through and they finally were like, okay, now we have to find out whose is whose. And it turned out it was that doctor's. It was his, or scientist or whatever, it was his brain scan. But he didn't turn out to be that kind of person. Yes, it was the teacher, right? He didn't turn out to be that kind of person. And so it was a really great documentary on how that, like, the brain may prime us. The brain may be primed for to be more likely, right, to wire itself in particular ways. This added to the nature versus nurture argument, because if nature created this brain structure and that brain structure reliably put out this type of personality, then that would be a coin in the bank of nature, right? But it was actually it gave us a lot more information about nurture. Yes, he had the brain structure for it, but through nurture, through his environment growing up, it wasn't cultivated in a way that encouraged those really maladaptive personalities, right? It's cool stuff. I love the science of it. I love the science. And it's what we give into as well. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? This is why, especially nowadays, somebody asked a little earlier about, they said they don't want to get political, but they feel like they've seen a shift. Babe, are you still in here? I apologize for missing it because I wanted to mention something about it. Because this is why I'm teaching mindfulness, right? I think, and Haley, there you are, babe. So I think that this is why, for those of you who've been here for a while, you know a little bit about my story. This is a lot of this stuff I've been doing or practicing or working with for most of my life. But most of my life, it's as if I've been stuck in a glass box, right? I don't really fit into the norm. People didn't really want to hear with the norm or hear what I'm talking about these things, or didn't want to, like, it still was woo-woo bullshit, you know what I mean? And it's felt like I'm unable to communicate a lot of this stuff. And I really, like, there's so many times going, literally, they're manipulating you with those commercials. Literally, the reason you want that candidate or this candidate is because they've manipulated you into it. The tools that marketing is using, whether it be companies or government or whoever, even you and me, these are tools of manipulation. You can go to college right now and you can take a class on media manipulation, on how to manipulate your audience. And it's not just one side or the other, Burt Reynolds soap dish. I'm not talking about one kind of voter or the other. The tools that they are using are tools that manipulate the mind, the human mind. And unless we have our awareness available to us, that manipulation slips right past the prefrontal cortex. It's designed to. So this idea of like, oh, I'm not being manipulated, you are. Unless you really have cultivated that sense of attention to really pay attention and really examine the choices that you're making and how you're making them. Remember, we all share a profound superpower, and that's the power of choice. But you cannot use your superpower unless you have cultivated that superpower. Right? Not every superhero just wakes up knowing how to fucking fly or knowing how to use their superpowers. We've seen those episodes of the superheroes coming into their own and, like, you know, Laser Eyes doing the wrong thing and icing the person or whatever. I don't know, you know. Anyway, you get my point. We have to cultivate this. It's a muscle that we flex. It's a skill that we build. It's a habit that we create so that we can get out of the cycle. Yes, Valda, it's basically hypnotizing. It is hypnotizing. You guys are so funny. Again, lives to me are a lot like sitting in a park with some friends having a discussion and then having random people either run by and yell stuff or like sit down and start interrupting and talking over you about stuff that's totally unrelated to what you're talking about, or just here to be disruptive. It's pretty adorable. I love you guys for it. But remember that this is a space where we invite everyone to show up with curiosity and willingness. Cultivating the ability to show up with curiosity and willingness, again, is something that we practice. It is a skill that we build. And it's okay that not everybody has that skill. Some of us are still stuck in more immature skills. If that's the case, you will be muted in this space. If you become disruptive in this space, you will be muted. And that's not because you're not welcome, right? You'd be blocked if you weren't welcome. You are welcome. But we ask you, just like if you're going into a church or into a temple, we cultivate a space that allows everyone to feel safe in this space. If you cannot respect that space with a sense of maturity and personal responsibility, then you are ushered out of that space, whether it be a church or a temple or a classroom or this space here or our Discord. So I encourage you to cultivate that personal sense of responsibility, and if you cannot, then just expect that you will be muted. It's not personal. It's encouraging you to cultivate that sense of personal responsibility in case you'd like to come back in. What are we doing, Ray? We're chatting. we're chatting, sharing tools, talking about quantum mechanics, quantum mindfulness, and how to gain back our locus of control in a world that harvests your attention and your time and your resources, in a world that relies on your ignorance. It's a radical thing to become familiar. Become familiar with yourself, become familiar with the information that they're talking about, become familiar with your community members, become familiar with the practices that give you back your locus of control, your personal sense of power. Paul, do I think it's possible you'd be too vulnerable? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, to be too vulnerable would be to, you know, absolutely. Sorry, my pirates just jumped up with like a million different examples of too vulnerable. But yes, you can absolutely be too vulnerable, because authenticity, right, to be authentic in our truest expression, is a recognition that the value of self and the value of other, love for self and love for other. So if I am being so vulnerable that I am putting myself at risk, at a high risk for hurt, pain, suffering, you know, and these kinds of things, then I am absolutely not valuing myself. Ooh, the Valda, the True Story of Oz. When you wrote that, I read Return of Oz or something like, because I love that movie. Yes, you can absolutely be too vulnerable. And here's the thing: when somebody has developed the personality trait to be too vulnerable in that way, excessively vulnerable, it's an energetic imbalance. And what happens when we are energetically imbalanced, when our finite system is out of balance, we seek finite resources to balance that system back out. However, if the system is filled with the infinite resource, right, divine prana that runs through everything in the universe, that runs through us too. Hey, thank you, Shattered Sparrow. Jay Tamara, you can't find me on TikTok. I'm in the Discord. You're in the Discord now, so there's links in the Discord for all the stuff. If we haven't cultivated our awareness of ourselves, then we haven't cultivated an awareness of what is stuck, what is rigid, what is maybe broken or feeling vulnerable and weak, what needs our attention. If we treat ourselves the way the Western world often wants us to, which is to put our attention outside of ourselves and ignore our needs until they're like screaming at us, right? Only treating symptoms, never the core, and perpetually doing in a constant cycle of attempts to satisfy infinite needs with finite resources. This keeps our systems out of balance. This keeps our systems unhealthy, in dis-ease. And an unhealthy system is a vulnerable system. Just like an unhealthy system, right, when your immune system is weak, it's easier for a virus to come in and manipulate your system. Same thing works with information and energy. If your system is not fortified and balanced, if it is out of balance, then it will seek to satisfy it. So we talk about vulnerability, right? One of the things that in my early development, let's say in my early development, I learned that the more I care for other people, the more I do for other people, the more loved and valued I am, right? Who got that message to some degree, okay? Sometimes that can equate to a very large, very open, or we call excessive heart chakra. That's a lot of energy leaving my system. And when it's doing that, it means it can't receive a lot of energy. So I'm putting out a lot of energy. What is that going to attract? Because opposites attract, and you know, it ain't fiction, just a natural fact. When my heart chakra is open, I'm going that big, that excessive, it's going to attract those with a deficiency in their heart chakra. Same way with the solar plexus. This is my center for will. This is my center for autonomy versus shame and doubt. If I feel shame and doubt versus a healthy sense of autonomy and self-esteem, then I am going to seek people out who have an excess here in their solar plexus. What does an excess solar plexus look like? High need for control, even to the extent of being aggressive or This is where, honestly, excessive solar plexus and deficient heart chakra is going to be somebody with narcissistic tendencies. More severity, and we are looking at sociopathy and more serious psychosis. But again, go back to that study that just because the brain is primed for it doesn't mean that we have to be that, because we have the ability to shift our entire being. Again, we can go all the way to the far end of the yogic practices, the yogic superpowers, which shift the body. One of the things that you, well, I don't know if you've heard of it. We talked about it in yoga teacher training, right? That there are many yogis who are like, and I don't want to say that yoga keeps you young too. Yoga keeps your body young. It renews the body. Valda, yes, being fully well-rounded, balanced is your bubble of protection in all areas where you can't see. Okay, so this is really good because we talked last couple of weeks about how to, people were asking, how do I protect my energy body? If my energy body is vulnerable, how do I protect it from negative energy, curses, psychic attacks, energy vampires? How do I protect it? And the truth is the way that you protect it is by taking care of it. The more protected you are, the more balanced you are, the more protective your system is. Why? Because these energies that we're talking about, these succubus kind of energies, are lower, heavier, darker kind of energies. Lower, denser, there we go, denser energies. When your system resonates in authenticity, it's quite a high vibration. And it lifts you out of this lower, thicker, denser energy. In that way, they literally can't reach you. And there's a certain degree to which we consciously or unconsciously give permission to people to take our energy or to use our energy. Why? Because we are unaware that we are engaging in an energy exchange. And so we engage in the same kind of relationships over and over and over, friendship, intimacy, or work-related or otherwise, that perpetuate the same cycles over and over. We go, why are we doing these things over and over? Because you are giving permission, again, for people to do that and for the universe. Now, I don't want this to devolve into, oh my God, I've fucked up. It's all my fault. It's terrible. I'm to blame. I'm such an idiot. I don't want to go into the spiritual dissonance of, oh, you're not paying any attention. You're not spiritual enough. You're not manifesting enough. We're not going there at all. We're going for a very, very simple, either I am aware of it or I am not aware of it. And if I am not aware of it, then I am ignorant of it. I might see it in symptoms, but I won't see it unless I am curious about those symptoms instead of, oh, I know what that is and I don't know. So this is why we meet each other meet ourselves, right? With curiosity and willingness. We cultivate our intention and our attention so we can become aware. If I'm driving down the road and I've just started this practice, you're very welcome, friends. I love you guys so much. If I'm driving down the road and road rage, somebody cuts me off, right? And suddenly the feeling of rage, as has happened before in the past, we've all experienced, hope, maybe, road rage, maybe not. When that occurs, I can be reactive and allow that energy to rise within me and express itself however it feels like coming out. And then I might, even worse, even further, I'm going to blame the other driver. It's their fault that I flipped them off. It's their fault that I am mad and cussing right now. It's their fault that I'm so pissed, my cheeks are fucking red, and I'm sweating, and I'm driving like an idiot. And then I get pulled over in a minute, and I blame the other driver. Who do you think the fucking officer's going to give a ticket to? You. So I could be reactive and let my reaction, my trigger, run the show. Or if I am cultivating a sense of awareness, meeting it with curiosity and willingness, then when that rage comes up, somebody cuts me off and that rage comes up. I went through this when I was shifting my stuff, right? I went through that and was like, oh, holy moly. Why? What do you have to say? And then I sometimes hear the rest. They put me at risk. What's worse, they put me and my son at risk. I'm in the car with the baby, you know, and they're like, my brain goes, is trying to protect me. And somehow it has learned that flipping somebody off and screaming at them through my car window is apparently protecting me. Oh shit, that might have been developed maybe when I was a little more immature, a little younger, a little less wise, and a little less skilled. So now that I am present and aware with myself, I can meet it with curiosity and willingness, and I can then decide, do I want to react or respond? Am I going to be responsible for my choices and for my actions? Or am I going to be reactive and blame everybody else and feel attached to them and make it part of my personality? I am anger. I am rageful. I am pissed right now. I am embodying it. It is everything I am. It is part of me forever. Versus, oh, anger has just risen within me. What would I like to do with that today? My liver just served me up a plate of anger. How am I going to dish this out? Am I going to... So the analogy, sorry, the pirates are running off and like, just eat that shit. No, I'm not going to eat it. Or maybe I could. I don't know. This is why shenanigans. Weave some shenanigans in there. Meet yourself with curiosity and willingness. Maybe when you're sitting there and rage comes up and you feel it before you react to it, maybe choose silliness. This is why I like the shenanigans, right? You guys know that one of my favorite ways to address things that are too serious is to address them like this. If you want to flip somebody off, use your middle finger. Be like, you stupid driver, you put me at risk and my child at risk, and that was inappropriate. So now I'm mad. Can you see this is my mad face? This is my mad face. So to answer your question, Haley, there has totally been a shift. And it's multifaceted. Meet things as a child would, exactly, T-Rex. It's been multifaceted because on the one hand, the powers that be that have been harvesting our resources, our attention, our energy, our money, our time, they are still in power to some degree. And they are fighting tooth and nail to maintain that power. The problem for them is that that power is slipping away. As we become collectively more aware, knowledge is power. This is why I'm sharing this stuff for free. You guys will find my classes for free. I used to try to charge for them and it wasn't feeling right, and finally I was like, wait a minute. It's because this knowledge, this stuff is so important, you shouldn't have to pay for it. This is the kind of stuff we should be taught in school and as children. How to manage our emotions, how to meet different parts of ourselves, how to meet ourselves with compassion and love. How to find your inner compass. How to find and cultivate a relationship with your inner captain. When we're very young, our inner captain is responsible for our authenticity, is responsible for our dharma or our purpose or our leading us through the entirety of the journey. When we're young, we can't always be authentic. And in the face of being shut down in our authenticity, we develop protections. These are our ego selves, ego characters that manifest and become the forefront of our personality. When you start doing this mindfulness work, you may very well, if you haven't already, find your captain. Remember that ego can pretend to be captain. Ego is not a problem. Ego is also a tool. Ego is also a friend. Ego has been there to protect you when your captain could not. When you did not have the tools to address your captain or to have a conversation with your captain, ego kept you safe. I like to talk about them as pirates on my pirate ship. All of these different parts of ego, all of these different aspects of self that have shown up to keep me safe. And some of those are so immature that they are causing problems in my life now, not keeping me safe anymore. But unless I cultivate the relationship with myself, the awareness within myself, and meet it with curiosity and willingness, then I'm never going to have that relationship with my captain. I'm never going to meet my ego pieces and see them for the good that they do. It was my mother's words, right, when I was younger, that said, if you create an enemy of yourself, it is a battle you will fight every day. And it is which will become the war that you wage your entire life long. I'm sorry, friend, I don't go live with people I don't know, but feel free to send me a message about going live another time. Valda, where do you sign up? I have various memberships available, so depending on what you want with signing up, if you want the class replays for the last almost year, those are on YouTube, and those are available with any level of membership. You can get membership here on TikTok, but I prefer if you go to Patreon because TikTok takes 60% of what I make on here. So if you can go to Patreon, that'd be really fantastic. The first level membership gives you that, as well as priority VIP content creation and stuff like that. All this stuff is written out on Patreon. The second level membership gets you into our group coaching sessions, and we're right now rearranging the group coaching time, so it's a really good time to get in case you can be like, wait, I really want Saturday afternoon. That totally works for me. Okay, so get in and help us decide. I move with change on Patreon. So, and then I do have another level of membership that allows for private coaching. I have a couple of memberships for private coaching. I'm very, very, very limited on the spaces that I have for private coaching, and that is because I spend a lot of time with and for my clients, right? Hey, Mercy. Do I have a simple, effective Kriya for out-of-shape dads? No, I wouldn't suggest a Kriya. I would suggest just a foundation of yoga foundation, movement foundation, and going there now. Fantastic, Valda. Start with chair yoga. If you're, really tense, and start with something simple. Start with mindfulness. Sun salutation. Yes, sun salutation is one of my favorite. It really is true. Like, sun salutation is in and of itself its own path in yoga. Like, sun salutation, right, is its own path. And if you just did that, so. Okay, Angie Taylor, Ange Taylor. Sorry if I hope you're still in here. If I just missed this. I'm trying to find some of the comments I missed. You ask any advice if someone you care about is working with someone that gives you bad vibes. How does the person you care about, you get bad vibes from this other person, but how does the person you care about feel about them? Are they getting bad vibes, or is it just your perception? I don't mean that to be dismissive. I'm just wondering. Eat paint chips. Crystals are good for everything. I stick them in all kinds of places. During the wintertime, I wear them in my socks all the time. Sun salutation, actually, for those of you who are talking about sun salutation and doing that, I highly encourage, if you've never tried it, to do sun salutation with your eyes closed. That will give you, it's actually a diagnostic test on the alignment of your system. Do like 3 or 4 sun salutations with your eyes closed. And then open your eyes and see where you end up on your mat. That's going to tell you a lot about the alignment of your spine, well, of your entire body. And then it will help you make the adjustments you need to get back into alignment without a fancy yoga therapy teacher. Oh darn. Okay, I don't think our friend is in here anymore. Me, myself, and I finding new committee members or personalities. That's what it was. I mean, for me, it's this process, right? And if you're interested in this concept, internal family systems is a really good place to start. Internal family systems. for me, it really did start with this whole concept of like an angel and a devil, right? This thing that we've surely all heard. And I'm a storyteller, and I love theatrics. So I would create these conversations and these stories between the two sides, and I eventually named them Hell and Hope. And through building a relationship with just these two, is actually how I started to meet the other parts of myself. Because within Hope, it's kind of like Shakti and Shiva, right? It's kind of like this divine masculine and feminine. It was this divine masculine energy and feminine, or like this stereotypical masculine energy and feminine energy. And within those each, I found several other characters of other aspects of self. But many times I needed to address the keeper, protector of those more vulnerable parts of self before I could get past that. Ogres are like onions. So as you're doing this work, remember that if you're looking for your inner child and you can't find your inner child, or you can't find your captain, you very likely have layers of self protecting those characters, those parts of you. If they've been hidden away, there's probably a reason they've been hidden away. Again, everything that your system has done ultimately is intended to take care of you, is intended to protect you, is intended to keep you safe. Now, these measures, these tools are developed when you are very young, immature, and not wise, and so a lot of these will have immature qualities to them, immature characteristics, immature personality, behaviors, and choices to them. This is usually an indication, right? If you're standing in the Starbucks getting your coffee and you want to throw a tantrum over the wrong milk, you are right now connecting to something that occurred to a part of yourself that was that age. And so ask yourself, meet it with curiosity and willingness, and ask yourself, how old are you? Ooh, your keeper or protector is a cowboy named Jake? I love that. RV Junies, hey friend. I have traveled for a long time in RVs, well before I had my son. He's 8 now, and he's lived in 7 states. But he is digging in his heels. He really wants to stay here in Oregon. Natalie, videos and lives are always exactly what you needed you here for that time. Oh, I'm so grateful. That's why I love being able to do this, and that's why I do it for free, and that's why I'm going to keep doing it, is because the value of the connection, the value of the information being shared, the value of being able to sit and answer your questions and offer real support in effective, tangible, not complicated, not expensive ways. Like, these are the keys to New Earth. And if you have the keys, please share the keys. I've got a huge toolbox of all kinds of keys, of all different shapes and sizes. So I offer the stuff for free. If you want to dig deeper in my toolbox, you can grab a membership. Level 2 gets you group coaching. Level 3 gets you once a month private coaching. Level 4 and 5 get you more intensive private coaching. Hey, you're in you're from Astoria. I thought you were in there, in Astoria. I was like, ooh, another person in Oregon right now. We are the keys, exactly, my friend. We are the keys, and so we must refine ourselves so that we may fit into the locks, into the doors that we are intended to open. During those early years, our little beautiful golden keys. Look, Salem, Oregon, yay! Let's all get together. Let's have a gathering, an Oregon gathering. These little golden keys that you are born with. You are born with your little golden key. In fact, that was a full circle moment. I just remembered that I used to say something exactly like this when I was like 7, 8, when I first had my awakening stuff start happening. As I say to my mother, it's as if we all have a little golden nugget. Now it's a key, but a little golden nugget. And depending on this is our gift to the world. This is our magic. This is what the world needs. The world needs us to give this thing to it. This is our bit, right, for the recipe. But depending on our early experiences, a lot of times we shelter that golden key because it's not safe. There's fire and thieves and other things going on, right, in our immediate reality, as children seemingly so. So what do? We protect it. We hide it. We encapsulate it in ego, in fear, in apprehension, in shame, in aggression, in vulnerability. We hide it. We encapsulate it. Some of us, luckily, just get to, thank you, friend, thank you guys. Some of us get to like hold our key and carry it around our neck our entire lives and have this beautiful childhood that allows them to be authentic and recognize their gifts, recognize what door that key is meant to open. I like to talk about it too like a song, right? This is an instrument that's intended to sing the most beautiful golden song. This is your purpose. This is your dharma. This is your frequency. Your authenticity is the song that you sing, and we are collectively a chorus. We need your voice. You are here because you are part of the chorus, and we need your voice. I was a latchkey kid. Rules are rules, friends. The guru in me recognizes the guru in you. The beautiful soul in me recognizes the beautiful soul in you, because we are all mirrors for each other. You will only receive today what you receive because there's only that much space. If you receive a lot, there was a lot of space for it. If you don't receive anything, then there wasn't space for it, and that's okay too. Remember, this is a space where we show up with curiosity and willingness. And I am not here to tell you that I am your guru. I am not your master. I am not your leader. I am none of these things. I am just a cog in the wheel, a speck of dust on a clover. I am just a drop in the ocean, just like you. I am just a collection of molecules vibrating at this particular frequency in this particular moment. And I am learning every day how to meet myself so that I can better meet others, to love myself so I can better give love to others and myself. And yet we live in a world that turns us directly away from this. Natalie, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be first woman president. Specifically first woman president. Not just president. Specifically first woman. But then I realized that that was a game of manipulation and mudslinging and gaslighting and smoke and mirrors. And I wanted to cultivate truth. I grew up Catholic and thought I wanted to be a nun. So developed an intimate, close relationship with Christ, conscious with Christ early on. And I used to wonder how he could carry the weight of the world, how he could stand in love and in truth despite the weight of the world, despite the weight of the world that he lived in. And that is something that I have sought, that has been an intention of mine, is to cultivate that, a Christ's heart, so that I can hold space for the world. It ended up with me being really fucking vulnerable for way too long. It ended up with me giving away my resources for way too long. It ended up with me being a martyr for a lot of other people and putting myself in situations where I just gave everything away that I could possibly give away so that somebody else could step over me. That's not love for self. That was in my imbalance. I was weaponizing my heart chakra. I was weaponizing my care. And many of us are doing that. Same. Yeah, you're welcome, T. Rucker. The sun salutation suggestion, seriously, it's one of my faves. It's one of my faves. It feels really weird to do it first, which I really love because it messes with the brain, but it gets you to get really into your body. Really into your body. Close your eyes when you do sun salutation. And it'll give you an assessment too, right? So, how do we gain the perspective to develop these tools within ourselves, to meet ourselves where we're at, to find our inner locus of control, to find our captain, because our captain has the maps and the compass and knows how to make everything fucking work. He knows where we're going. He knows how to wisely, expertly navigate this ship. Good morning, Adam. But usually our captain is not hiding behind. Our captain is layers behind ego and the tools that our system has created to keep us safe. Nobody can find your captain for you. This is why I say you are your own guru, right? When you're sitting in meditation, say you're sitting with me. Say you're sitting with Gandhi. Say you're sitting with the Buddha. Say you're sitting with Christ. Say you're sitting with your priest. Say you're sitting with whoever it is that you look up to as your guru. Say you are sitting with them and they are directing you through a meditative practice. And they tell you to focus all of your attention, all of your awareness on the tip of your nose. They can tell you that. And you can have your eyes closed and you can be sitting there, but you can still choose not to focus your attention on the tip of your nose. You are the one, you are the only one who can do that. And in that way, you are the one that leads you from darkness to light. This idea that anyone or anything outside of you actually does that for you is a misnomer. Is it a tool? Is it a guidepost? Is it a stepping stone? Absolutely. But the one with the locus of control, the one with the power over you is you. Unless you give that power away. And we give that power away unconsciously, because in this culture, we go through the process of learning to give our power away. Again and again and again. Lori, when you meditate, you fall asleep. Is that okay? Yes, and, right? Yes, of course it's okay to fall asleep during meditation. And there are other benefits that you can receive from maintaining a meditative state in consciousness. So I encourage you to experiment, to be curious, to try shorter meditations, maybe in a conscious state. Adam, energy flows where attention goes. Absolutely. And again, we live in a world that needs your attention, harvests your attention. You guys heard of the attention economy, right? I've been studying media manipulation since the 90s. And it is pervasive. And it has manipulated me as well, even though I already know about it and have for a long time. It continues to do so, but it does so less and less and less the more I cultivate my personal sense of responsibility, my authentic expression, my attention, and my intention. If my intention is to go to the store and just buy some apples, and I focus my attention on what I'm doing, then I'm not so easily distracted and pulled away and manipulated by all the marketing that's all around me. This works the same way on your screens or in your relationships or everywhere else in life. Remember, my intention is my North Star. My intention can adjust, can change, but my intention is my North Star. It's where I'm headed. And then I cultivate my intention, intention. My intention is my North Star. And I cultivate my attention to keep, it's like my compass, to keep my ship guided towards my intention. Again, if my intention is to express some discord in my relationship with my partner, and to do so with compassion and maybe with a little bit of grace, right? Then I have to keep myself focused on that intention. Otherwise, my attention goes away and I end up making choices and I end up losing sight of my intention. This is how my reactivity can start to grab hold, and then during that conversation it devolves into, wait a minute, this is not what we came here for. This was not the intention of the conversation, and we got way off track. Why? Because your attention was not on the intention of the conversation. Can we have conversations that go all over the place? Sure. But it's also really important to cultivate that intention and that attention. And then say something you didn't mean. Exactly, Lori. I grew up with I don't want to keep repeating this thing. So we're going to pause here. I don't want to keep repeating this thing. There were lots of fists thrown. There were lots of hard consequences. There were lots of brick walls. There was a lot of words like abuse and violence and things like that. There was trauma. There was all of those things. And I don't like to continue to refer to it like a traumatic childhood, because I feel like it just pokes, again, the word trauma, even using it, the word violence, the word abuse, even using those things. because that's not how my brain thinks about it. Like, I want to think about it. It's not the story that I want to have about it anymore. So becoming aware of my intention. What's the intention in what I'm trying to say? Right? The intention was to respond when you said, then say something you didn't mean. My parents did that often. Say something they didn't mean, and then apologize for it. But then oftentimes repeat the thing they didn't mean. They said they didn't mean. And as a child, I used to go, this doesn't make sense. You say you don't mean it. It's not true, and yet you're going to repeat it? Not just say it once, but repeat it? I feel like it's gaslighting. I feel like you're lying to me. I feel like that's not the case. There's some truth to what you're saying, otherwise it wouldn't repeatedly come up. If we are accidentally saying something over and over, it's not by accident. Again, it's like the idea of like mistakes are things that we can learn from, but if you keep repeating the exact same mistake, you're tripping somewhere before that mistake. There is something that's leading you down this rabbit hole. And we cannot know how to get ourselves out of it unless we realize we're in it. But many of us feel justified. Brian, you need a ghostwriter? Let me know. Yours didn't know how to apologize and then gaslight. Yep. Reprogramming, reparenting, rewiring ourselves. I like to talk about it again like a temple or an instrument, right? This temple or this vehicle, this vessel. During my first 25 or so years of life, this vessel is developing. And it does its very best to acquire all the information and develop a protective, good, reasonably functional system, right? After that, the basic level of development is done, and I get the keys to my temple or my vehicle. Now, if you grew up in an environment that said the world is scary and dangerous and you can't be vulnerable, you may have a fucking tank by the time you get your keys to it. And if you drive through life in your proverbial tank and you're knocking people over and it's hurting your relationships and the way that you speak to your employer gets you fired and all this other stuff, this fucking tank. And you're like, wait, maybe this tank is not the way to get around the world. Maybe I needed it when I was 5. Maybe I needed it when I was 10. But I don't need a tank now. I'm not at war. The person you need to be, if you are seeking peace, if you are cultivating peace, cannot be the warrior that was in battle before. You cannot sit in peace with all that armor. I mean, you can, but you get the analogy, right? Natalie, it helps a lot to meet other people with curiosity and willingness, right? I'm learning not to resent people for their shortcomings. Still learning. I like to think about humanity as a body, and when I see somebody who's being a real armpit, I thank them. Thank you for being the one to express toxins so we can get them the fuck out of the system. Thank you. When I see somebody who's being an asshole, I respond to them and go, okay, thank you for processing the bullshit, because I don't want to be the asshole. Not at all. That helps me a lot, is to shift the perspective and recognize that for some reason, somehow, they are of value. There is something they're doing, kind of like the sharks in the ocean or the flies that deteriorate, help break down the junk on the planet. They're needed. They're important. They're necessary. Even mosquitoes have a fucking place. Yeah. You're very welcome. Trying to go back is disassociating. Yes, but this is the thing. Our systems reactively go back. That's what reactiveness is a kind of disassociation. I'm disassociating from the here and now and the present moment of what's actually happening, and I'm sending my body and my mind back to something previous before. I'm removing myself from the here and now. And I'm responding as if I'm a 5-year-old. As if I'm a teenager. I guarantee that you're either doing these things now or you have done them before. If you're an amazing guru and you have gotten all of your work done and you don't do any reactive, triggery stuff, that's fucking amazing. That's really cool. Tell me more. But the rest of us are all still peeling away the layers of onion, the layers of ego, the layers of this tank that was built for us when we were younger to protect ourselves. But now that we are the adult, the parent, the wiser, finding the captain, ready to be the one at the helm, wait, I want to drive this ship now. I don't want road rage to drive my ship. I don't want listless damsel in distress to drive my ship. I don't want, ooh, stuff tough. I love acupuncture. Here's the reality. I'm really enjoying life. And I want to be a part of it. I want to be experiencing it on a first-hand level. If I am regularly being manipulated, then I am not the one driving my ship. If I have unconscious tools and programming and ego reactivity things, then I am also not the one choosing where I'm going. I'm not the one driving my ship. I've been 6 and 16. Really, I'm 59. Don't want to act right now. Do want to act right. I'm trying though. Why? What is right? Right for you, Brian. Act right for you. I don't care, and that's the thing, is I don't care what your earthly age is. It's about your authentic expression. And in moments, my authentic expression is childlike because it's playful and fun and joyful and laughing and and some of my expressions are, from a 90-year-old grandma who's been through, back in my day, let me tell you about the things that I done seen in my life. And I got some stories to tell. And oftentimes I'm somewhere in between. Technically, I'll be 40 this year. Do I feel it? I don't know. What does 40 feel like? Hey, love. Natalie, inner rage due to hidden resentments has been a huge learning process for me to explore. And again, somebody asked a little bit ago, is this like shadow work? And yes and no, right? There are light and shadow parts of yourself, and there's the full spectrum, right? Let's stop talking about light and dark. Let's talk about all of the colors of the rainbow, all of the colors, all of the spectrum of color, because that's what you have within you, not just this duality, not just right and left, not just good and bad. And 40 is the new 30, it totally is, Zach. And when we do the exploration within, to find these layers of self, to uncover these sticky things, these things. Again, remember we were talking about earlier this week, a lot of times, like the road rage part of myself, or the judgmental part of myself, or the negative self-talk part of myself, these parts actually had another job to do. They had other things that they actually wanted to be doing. And they were too busy talking shit to me or doing these other things because that was the role that they developed early on. I can now give them permission to go do something else. I have to give them permission with cooperation. If my child self is part of what's producing anxiety for me, then I need to make sure that I give her space to play and be silly and creative and whatnot, rather than shame her for it, because that shame is what adds to my anxiety when I go out into the world, because I expect other people to treat her the same way I treat her. Hey guys, welcome into the Discord. I'm so excited to see so many people bopping into the Discord tonight or today. Yay! That Uranus opposition, Star Muse. Haley, sometimes you have to step back and realize we're all just kids trapped in older bodies. So that, again, is what I'm seeing right now. The immature parts of this world are seemingly digging in their heels to become more and more. It's like a child ramping up a tantrum. The immature energies. I'm not going to say people, right? Because we all have immature and mature energies. These immature or heavy, dense energies are fucking trying as hard as they can to stay dense. the earth itself is resonating at higher and higher frequencies. The earth itself is evolving, and it, by proxy, we are energetic beings. The earth is an energy generator. We are energy generators. We are going to have to survive, we have to lift our vibration with the earth. We can resist this evolution the same way that we can turn around to life and swim upstream. We can create tension. You're always going to know that you're swimming upstream or that you're stuck somewhere if you're experiencing tension or squeezing pressure in your life. If something is just screaming at you, if shit has hit the fan, then it's time to let go and see where the river takes you. English teacher did a meditation through writing a story. I love, again, as a storyteller, I love to lead like Yoga Nidra and other storytelling meditations. I used to try to script my meditations, and I found that it was very unnatural to read them, and so now I just do spontaneous storytelling usually for my meditations. When I am leading meditation, it's almost always spontaneous now. But I wanted to offer something. In a world, again, right, that relies on our willful ignorance, relies on us groping for finite resources outside of ourselves, that relies on us attaching to these lower dense energies and staying down in the muck and the mire, rather than lifting ourselves up to a higher frequency. In a world that relies on all those things, become familiar with yourself. Your power is here. Your autonomy is here. Love, trust, patience, security, all of these things actually exist within you. And you have to find them within you before you can fully find them in their truest expression outside of yourself. It's a paradox, but it's a thing. So let me share a practice with you. This is called the Not Me meditation. And you can adjust it to however you would like to do this one. This is one of my favorites. When I found this one, now I've been meditating for quite a long time. When I found this one, it was like a cheat code. I've been able to get to the higher self. I've been able to get to the captain's seat. I've been able to get to the quiet, fluffy places in meditation. But this was like a vertical slide right into there. So, when you are ready. Hey, Bob. Not Bob. Wait a minute. When you are ready, if you've got yourself a comfortable spot to sit, you can be standing, you can be laying down, you could be walking. If you're walking or driving, please don't close your eyes. And you can do this meditation with your eyes open. In fact, we start with our eyes open. So here, hold on. Bring your awareness to your space. Look around your space and find something, anything in your space. I don't care what color it is. I don't care what it is. Find something in your space. I found something. That thing drew me. Okay. Find this one thing in your space and give it all of your attention. Kind of like we did before, but this time really, really like intentionally push. If your attention was a light or was a force, you're going to use that intention to send it into the thing that you're looking at. All of your attention, all of your focus, every single ounce of it that you have that I'm not distracting by chatting away, everything, push it into this thing that you're looking at. And now, say to yourself, I can observe this thing, therefore it is not me. Look at it for a moment longer. Look how weird it looks now that you've been staring at it for a minute. And shift to something else. Look for something else in your room. In where the space where you are. Ah, got something else. Stare at this thing. Again, give it all of your focus, all of your attention, all of your awareness, everything that you have. Direct it as if it was an actual force, as if it was your breath, as if it was your voice. All of your attention, all of your time, all of your focus, every ounce, every bit in this thing. And then say to yourself, I can observe this thing, therefore it is not me. I can observe this thing, so it is not me. Release your focus again. You can look for something else in the room. Let's do one more thing. Look for something further away. Try to look for something further away, if you've got the space to do so. Out a window or something. Look for something a little further away. Got it. All of your attention, all of your focus, pointed, focused, laser focus. Push it as if it's your voice screaming at the thing. All of your attention, all of your focus, all of your awareness in the observation, not the storytelling of the thing, not attachment to the thing, not thinking about the thing, just looking, observing, listening, smelling for that thing right here, right now. Stare, everything you have. And now, say again, I can observe this thing, so it is not me. I can observe this thing, so it is not me. Go ahead and close your eyes if you can. If you can't, keep them open and shift your hearing now. Listen for the furthest away sound that you can possibly perceive. If you need to take an earbud out, do so. Listen for the furthest away sound. Stretch your hearing. Reach as if it's your arms, some bungee rubber arms that are reaching, stretching for the furthest away sound that you can possibly perceive. All of your attention, all of your focus on the furthest away sound. Make sure you take this moment to really dig your focus into this sound. And now say to yourself, I can observe this thing, so it is not me. I can observe this sound, so it is not me. Move your attention to the sound of your breath. You can even make your breath a little more audible to help. Move your attention to the sound of your breath. All of your focus, all of your attention, all of your awareness, everything you have, listening to the sound of your breath. I can observe this breath, so it is not me. I can observe this breath, so it is not me. Roll your eyeballs around behind your closed eyelids if they're closed for a second. Tip them back and forth, do a couple rolls, look up, look down, move them around. Give your eyeballs all of your attention, all of your focus, all of your awareness behind your closed eyes. All of your focus, all of your attention on your eyes. Again, moving them if you need to. All of your attention, all of your focus. And say again to yourself, I can observe these eyes, so they are not me. I can observe these eyes, so they are not me. Shift now back a little deeper into your mind and observe your thoughts. As if you're sitting in a wide open space within you, the thoughts rise and fall like clouds, pass by like clouds. It's okay if in this moment you're not having any thoughts. Just hold the space and watch. Listen. Give your thoughts all of your attention, all of your focus. Don't run away with them, just watch them. Like clouds in the sky. All of your attention, all of your focus. Look at all the different shapes, colors. All of your attention to your thoughts, all of your focus to your thoughts. And again, say to yourself, I can observe my thoughts, so they are not me. Take a few moments. Shift your awareness to your heart. Feel the beating in your chest. Listen for your heartbeat. All of your attention, all of your focus, all of your awareness on your heart. I can observe this heart, so it is not me. Stay in this space. Anything that comes up, any sound, any thought, any feeling, any sensation, any awareness of your physical external reality or internal reality, any awareness of any of it, and say to yourself, I can observe this thing, so it is not me. Continue to do this until you find yourself in the empty space within. And stay there as long as you would like. Come out whenever you're ready. Notice when you open your eyes. Notice how you feel. Notice your system. Notice your mental space, your emotional space, your physical space. Look around you and notice the colors. Notice your environment. Bill, what if we are the thing? Well, that's its own meditation. That's a different meditation. In this one, we're exploring not being any of the things. I'm not this body. I'm not even the mind, Sadhguru. Yes. I think a lot of times when we go along our journey of coming home to that inner space within, we can get really lost in who we really are, right? Am I this part of my personality? Am I this part of my personality? Am I this characteristic? Am I this characteristic? But we're talking about, it's like asking, am I my clothing? That's what we're doing, is asking constantly, am I all of these parts of self that we're not actually? And sometimes when we do this work of coming home to ourselves, we can accidentally stop because we think we made it there. Because we receive some benefit from mindfulness, because we experience quantum shifts, because we can experience compassion on a visceral, right, empathy for the first time, or on a visceral level, on a deeper level. Oftentimes our ego sits there and says, no, I'm your captain, you don't have to go any deeper. Pool time with your kiddos, Haley. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, Haley, it's the death rattle, right, in the world. Because everything else is evolving. The water is rising. The tide is rising. And we can be the ocean, or we can be a rock. You can sink or float. Life is either happening to you, the rock, or through you, the ocean. Are you participating, or are you resisting? Are you cultivating tension and suffering in your life, or are you letting go, meeting it with curiosity? My favorite way to figure that out before I act is to ask myself about every choice. Is this inclusive or is it exclusive? Now, there is time and places for things to be exclusive. But if we choose inclusive of all parts of self, that is going to lead us back into the water, back into the flow, far more than Brian, you always see a purple portal, but you can't get in or through it. You want to go swimming. When you're in your mind's eye, you mean, Brian? When you close your eyes, you see a purple portal? So, if you're already seeing that, then I would suggest doing a third eye meditation. Let me give you two things. There's just the meditative state, sitting with it, and is to simply to close your eyes and to turn your actual vision, like actual eyes with your eyes closed, Turn your eyeballs up towards your third eye and practice sitting like that. Start with like just a few minutes at first. It can cause a lot of tension in the muscles behind the eye if you're not used to doing it. So please, 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 please be careful. Remember, guys, this internal space, especially things like your intuition and empathy and things like that, these are vulnerable, delicate spaces within. We don't come in swinging with hammer and nails and chainsaws and shit like that. We meet the self with grace and compassion and gentleness. We don't need to push too hard or push through things. There's a lot of places in this world where you can push your boundaries, right? Where you can break through things. However, this is not how we treat the inner space. So, put your attention on your third eye. Literally turning your eyeballs up to your third eye with your eyes closed. Sit there for a few minutes. If you can do 5, I would recommend a minimum of 5 minutes. And then practice this. Honestly, practice this for like a couple weeks, 2 weeks, 14 days or so. About 5 minutes a day at minimum. If you can do longer, do longer. And see if you can see how that shifts. And come back if you have any other questions or if you want to share your experience or whatnot, or get in the Discord so we can talk about it more. But sit with your eyes turned up to your third eye. And when you do this meditation, really give your third eye all of your attention, just like we did in this other practice of looking and giving something our total focus, total attention, all of it, all of it, all of it. Do that to your third eye through the entirety of until your muscles start to hurt, or I say get to no more than, let's say, no more than 15 minutes. Okay? Start with that. No more than 15 minutes for that practice. And then let me know how you feel. The other thing the other thing I was going to offer is a mudra. Now, the reason I said this too was like, please do not force yourself. Do not hurt yourself in this space. Especially when you are working with the third eye, there's no benefit to pushing yourself too hard. You can cause spiritual psychosis. You can cause mental health, real problems if you go too hard and too fast on parts of your inner system. So, that said, this mudra is not intended to be held any more than 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes. No more than 2 minutes. Got it? Pinky promise? I don't want anybody coming back to me and being like, I hurt. I've got major migraines. Okay, well, did you do it for just 2 minutes? And if you were only going for 1 minute and you started to feel pressure and tension, did you stop? Stop when you feel tension. If you don't get to the full 2 minutes, if you don't get to the full 5 minutes, stop when you feel tension. That is more important than following through the practice. It's not about perfection. It's about presence within the practice. And patience with yourself, right? Okay, here's the mudra for clarity. It's the mudra to help clear the third eye. Extend the index finger on your left hand. Wrap your right hand, the palm of your right hand, around your finger. So you have your index finger, your left index finger, all the way wrapped up in your right hand. Now, adjust if you have to. Take your right thumb and touch this just bottom outer corner right here of the nail. So wrap the fingers, keep the thumb open or the index open there, and touch the thumb just to the corner here. Bottom outside corner of your nail. You can hold this at your chest. You can hold it at your third eye. Again, no more than 2 minutes. Don't make me come get you. No more than 2 minutes. Set a timer if you have to. Do 1 minute every single time. Don't even try it for 2 minutes. Whatever works for you. If you are doing this and it starts to give you a headache, if it starts to hurt your eyes, if it starts to give you pressure in your ears, any of that, put it down. There is no benefit to pushing too far past your boundaries. If your third eye is gummed up and there's debris and whatnot and stickiness and heavy energy in there, it's important to clear it out so you can improve your intuition, improve your connection with higher self, improve your wisdom, access more wisdom, that kind of stuff. But if you break that channel, we've seen those people who are in another dimension, but not in this one. That's the kind of stuff that you can see happen. Don't poke your eye out. Don't poke your third eye out. That's right. But I'm still giving you the rider, right? The BB gun. I'm still giving you the red rider. Here's the red rider. Now don't poke your eye out. Third eye clearing. That's right. One more time. Index finger of your left hand. Wrap your right hand around it. Place your right thumb on the very outside bottom corner of your nail. Hold this at your heart or bring it up to your third eye. I particularly actually really like, I've found that when I do this, I end up putting my thumb on my third eye here, like the knuckle of my thumb on my third eye. But you can hold it out in front of the forehead. You can also touch the third eye with the pointer. Whatever works for you, however you feel best holding it, I encourage you to do that. But again, no more than 2 minutes. No more than 2 minutes. Cultivate patience. Cultivate compassion. All of these practices are an opportunity to cultivate a quality, trusting relationship with yourself. Oftentimes, when we have spent our entire lives denying ourselves our own love and our own trust and our own time and our own attention and our own care and all this stuff, we have lost trust severely with ourselves. We do that with our eyes open. Lori, you can do it with your eyes open or closed. It's up to you. I find the experience is more intense if you close your eyes. And playing with the third eye is a lot of fun. So remember this. I need to get it done. I need to create the energy work journal. I am working on creating a chakra reflection journal so that as you take these tools and work with your chakras, you can start using the reflection journal. Because while you're in the meditation, it's important not to go down the rabbit hole. The knuckle was stronger for you, Feral Farm. Yeah. That's why I like it that way. Stuff tough. He must be so naive. Aren't we all naive? We're all ignorant. We're all naive in our own ways. But as you're doing this work, it's really important. So if I'm sitting with this third eye meditation, particularly, remember this third eye meditation is about intense focus. You want to give your third eye intense focus, either with your eyes turned up to it. Now, please note, you can combine the two. You can close your eyes, turn your eyeballs up toward your third eye, grab the mudra, and hold it up at your third eye. If you see a purple pool or cool wavy colors, or if you feel waves of something happening through you, if you have these random thoughts or memories, all of that is background to your focus on your third eye. So having a journal is really important. Because what I can do is after my practice, I sit down and I write down all of the cool shit I saw and that I remember. The stuff that you need right now is going to stick with you. So don't worry, oh no, I forgot the other thing. That's okay. It wasn't needed to be here. Right? You don't need to write it down. You don't need to put it in your journal. You don't need to remember every single detail. So I encourage you, if you have a journal, to use one. If you like the one that I'm making, encourage me to keep working on it because I keep forgetting I'm working on it. And then we talk about the chakras and I'm like, dang it, I need the journal to be done. Look, I didn't even write the note. Did you see that? The chakra reflection journal that I have already made was actually one that was intended to go through the workshop. I was going to do a workshop on the chakras again this year. I did one last year and it was a lot of fun. But again, I was really struggling to get the actual workshop put together. And I realized that the reason was because I needed to just give the information. I needed to just share the information. The things I do charge for are things that I create. So I do have some older workshops and I will eventually finish the chakra workshop and that will be available for sale if you want to take it and run through the whole thing. All of them are going to be self-paced. But I also, and the journals that I create, right? The journals or the workbooks and things I create, or basically for my personal time. If you are a member, any of level of membership and you comment on my content or send me a message and ask me a question, I do my best to I make priority content for you. The reason I post all of my stuff on TikTok is because TikTok, you can download everything that I post. I can't do that on YouTube, can't do that elsewhere. So I put it all here so that you can download it and keep it for yourself. If you are a member at any level of membership and you ask me a question, I make you that full-on content. If you're not a member, I will still answer your questions, but I won't go to the full length of like editing and, you know, making a whole thing. I'll do response videos and things like that. But I'm learning. This is me. Thank you guys so much for going with me on this journey as I learn to truly be and operate in my authentic nature. The truth is that if you and I were sitting at a coffee shop right now, I'd be sharing this information with you for free anyway. So it was inauthentic for me to charge for it because I felt like I was being, you know, dishonest, right? Charging some people and giving it away free to other people. But it's so important. It's so, I mean, these are the tools that have literally changed my life, literally saved my life. And not from some anecdotal way, not from some, oh, I learned these things and I took a training. Well, now I'm going to reiterate this information to you. This comes from a lifetime of working with energy, over 12 years of studying human development and wellness across the lifespan from a psychological perspective as well as an Ayurvedic perspective as well as a philosophical perspective, herbal perspective, right? All these different things. Wowzy wowzer, love this. Love you, friend. So if you want to engage with this content more, you can join the Discord for free. Our Discord is totally free. There's not always a ton of activity in there, but it's a platform, it's a space where we can ask questions, share information. I post extra content. Every month I post a different Ayurvedic recipe. We just recently had somebody come in and ask specifically for a recipe. So I went and took my books out, my nutritional healing books and my cookbooks and whatnot, and put together responses of like, they were actually looking for specific foods for something specific. So I gave them all of that, right? So you can come in there and ask those questions. Like I said, this information is free. The more time that I spend on it, then I do charge for it. And that's just to make sure that this can be something that I get to reliably continue doing, because it is authentic for me to sit here and to share this stuff, to teach these classes, to give you guys the tools, to answer the questions, to have the conversations. In a world that relies on your ignorance, become familiar. So in this space, that's what we do. Show up exactly as you are, whether it's messy or perfect or right or wrong or whatever you think it is, and meet yourself with curiosity and willingness in this space. Meet these tools with curiosity and willingness in this space. Be here now. Come as you are. That's why we call this our CAYA community. CAYA. CAYA stands for come as you are, because authenticity is your highest expression, is the purest expression of your divine self. That's what we're looking for. And if you go out into the world, there's not a lot of places that are encouraging you to truly be authentic. And there are a lot of people in a lot of places that will tell you not to be authentic. If we are going to survive this collective evolution, we must cultivate our authenticity. Nice, Brian. I always love those. Exactly, Feral Farm. There you go. I wish I could pet sit, but my healer is not conducive to it. What?
Since I had some, and my breakfast.
Time out, time out, time out. I'm not negotiating right now. You have something to do while I am working. I have been working since 10 a.m. and I'm about to finish so that I can stop and we can eat something. But we do not want a repetitive pattern. The repeat pattern is that I come to work and you have a job to do as well in the house. And then when I get off work, we're supposed to sit down and eat together. I'm doing my work. Are you doing your work? Don't answer me and just go do it. I love you very much, son. Okay. I am nothing. The most accurate and precise form of authenticity. I am nothing and everything at once. Right? That is authenticity, is to recognize the value in self and in other. To recognize have love for self and other. That is divinity. That's why in this space we talk about authenticity as the purest expression of your divinity. That's unconditional love. That's what God's love or divine love looks like, is love for self and other, value of self and other. Because again, if I do not value myself, then I lay myself at someone else's feet who does not value what I have, right? What I'm sharing. We must, this is the process. This is the beautiful, beautiful experience of being human, is we get to come home, back home to our divinity. Iraq and back, there are a lot of places where they are struggling to live. There's a lot of places in this world, and it's becoming more and more of a problem, more pervasive around the world as we are experiencing this shift right now. And honestly, it echoes the conversation I had with somebody via my content the other day. I had a picture of, a video of me playing in the river and whatnot, and this particular person said, "You're living my dream life." And I said, "Well, just make your dream a reality, right?" And they said, "When I have the money, I will." And it hit me. It pinged all around me, and I was like, "No!" I have been living this kind of life, living outside of the norm most of my life. And that's by choice and personal and intentional cultivation. I will tell you one thing unequivocally. It does not cost a lot of money. In fact, it was me chasing down having the right amount of money for the right destination and the right luggage and the right whatever at the right time, and to go through the right steps that led me away from it. Again, we live in a culture, we live in a world that does not want to see us in our self-actualized highest expression, because then we are not manipulatable, we are not harvestable, we are not controllable. You want to get your personal power back, you want to experience legitimate freedom. It's the freedom to not be pushed and pulled by every little manipulation, every little trigger out there in the world. And that is something you must cultivate for yourself. Josiah, I live in an RV and in a house, and sometimes in a tent in the woods, and sometimes in a cave in the mountains, and sometimes in a very large house with several rooms. I have lived many places. We were talking about abundance the other day, and I had somebody come in and talk about the, what are they called behind here? The milk crates, right? They're like, you can't have an abundant life. You got milk crates as bookshelves. And I really had a good laugh about it, because I was like, actually, if you know, you know, because milk crates are quite fucking valuable. They are good for just about everything. And I have known people who have an exorbitant amount of money and absolutely no money, and everybody values a milk crate. So don't even start with me. It's not about living in the way that the world expects me to live. It is about living the life that I want to live. And I don't want to be beholden to an economy that tells me that my only value is about how much tax dollars I cultivate. Sherpy, what's making you define it as suffering? Find that inside you and it can change. What was I talking about suffering? There is suffering, and we can choose suffering. We can choose to attach ourselves to the experience of pain, and therefore, or the experience of loss, and in that way we choose suffering. But oftentimes, again, we live in a culture that doesn't teach us how to let go of that pain and suffering. It teaches us to embody it, to become part of us, and to wear it like a badge on our shoulder, and then perpetuate the exact same imbalance to everybody else to cause more suffering. Culturally, we don't do very well at getting ourselves out of suffering. We do very good at divisiveness and infighting and all this stupid little bickering over peanuts, when there's an abundant garden available within each of us. Exactly, Regal Poison. Value means something different to everyone, and that's okay. And that's the important piece. Making sure that you are choosing the life based on your values, right? We talked about your intention. Make sure you cultivate your intention, and that you are keeping your attention on your intention. As soon as your attention gets pulled away from your intention, you are no longer driving your ship in the direction you wanted. Little manipulations, little, what's it called? So wait, the attachment to identity is suffering? If we want to come from a Buddhist perspective, it says that all attachment is suffering. Because attachment creates tension. And the loss of attachment often creates pain. And therefore, it is indicative of more suffering. It cultivates more suffering and the opportunity for more suffering in our lives. Versus, now, this is important because somebody said, oh, you mean just disassociate. Non-attachment is not disassociation. Kind of like we're talking about authenticity. Isn't just love for self, it's love for self and other. Some people get stuck in the same cycle, twisted guy. We all get stuck in the same cycles. Our systems are cyclical. The entire universe has a cycle. And so we are going to keep, the patterns are going to keep patterning. It's just a matter of choosing which patterns we want to ride, right? Which waves, which tides we want to catch and which ones we want to let fall away. Iraq and back, our culture is definitely trying to define success for us, and they have been for some time. They have been for a long time. We could talk at length about the science behind marketing and media manipulation and when it came about the era of World War II and why it was brought over here and who Edward Bernays is and how he's the father of modern marketing and all this stuff and why it's so effective. It's psychology based. Because if you are a victim, then you don't take responsibility for your choices and actions. If we put ourselves in that position, yes, AH87, this is really important. The victim mentality is important to get ourselves out of. But again, we have a culture that sells us a victim mentality, that sells us fear, keeps us in that place of feeling fearful and victimized. And then instead of taking responsibility, we point our fingers at everybody else. And this is one of the things that really, really shifted on my path in my work, right? Because I came from that kind of environment when I was younger. And to shift it, I found myself feeling very victimized, feeling very bitter. I wished ill will on the people who did ill things to me, right? I was in that place of suffering and allowing them to live rent free in my mind and in my body and have these reactions and whatnot. Like, I was a victim. And I felt really powerless. And I don't remember what it was, but there was at one point where something shifted within me, where I realized that by being the victim, I gave them my power. Well, I'm just a victim. There's nothing I can do about it. I have no power. But if I shift and say, I have never been a victim, I have only experienced degrees of painful experiences. From that perspective, now I have a much greater locus of control. I can examine the choices that I made to get there. Yes, it's intellectualizing and you don't always need to do it, but I did. I examined the things that brought me there. I like to talk about it from an energetic standpoint because usually it's energy patterns that cause us to repeat the behavioral, verbal, and whatever life patterns over and over again. Is because we have imbalances that resonate at that frequency of fear or lack or abuse or what have you. And so we just call these things back in, cycle again and again and again until we balance the alignment, until we realign. Beth, you're struggling with a friend choosing not to manage in a healthy way. Actually, it's a thing. It is hard to hold space sometimes, yeah, when the people we care about are using these tools. And it's not always appropriate in the moment to tell them that they're not using the tools well, right? So, like, holding space sometimes is the first thing we need to do is meet people with curiosity and willingness. And you don't want to choose a pattern. You just want to relax from all of that stuff around us. And that's it, right? For me, the choice is to sit back and appreciate the unknowing, appreciate the rising and falling, and appreciate being surprised, appreciate the curiosity and willingness that allows me to see each ebb and flow, each pattern, not as a pattern, but as a cycle, as a piece of a greater and greater and greater cycles that I'm on. And so in that way, I've given up a lot of need for control because I've developed trust with the universe, but it's not easy. Thanks, Ellie. Catching up on comments here, guys. Brian, you speak to your committee members. It's important. It's important to cultivate that space within you to sit with these parts of yourself. And you can even, like, you can go in and meet your parts of yourself too, but you can also go in and invite other parts of yourself. Like, for example, at my round table, when I go to have discussions with my wiser, higher self, with myself, laugh at me if you want to. Yoda sits at my table. Amelia Earhart and Rosa Parks sit at my table. Those are the most common. Sometimes Mrs. Brisby from Secret of Nim also sits at my table. There's a council of crows that occasionally comes in. Sometimes there's dragons and fae and things like that come in and visit my table. He did send in my way. Good, Beth. Yoda was your first teacher, Bob? Not Bob? I like the way, and you'll catch me, I'll pull out Yoda speak because he's in there as like an influence. Ellie, you're going to initiate a new table. So I mentioned before, right, about dream journeying. This is a practice that I developed just in my meditative practices. And it's a little bit kind of like astral projection, that you're going into another realm, so to speak, another space, but it's in a conscious form and you sit through meditation and do it. I guide people through it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can book a session with me through booking the private coaching stuff. Or reach out and ask questions and we can get you settled in. But essentially, it's that. It's the practice of cultivating this inner space. And this is not an inner space that you create. This is an inner space that you go into and you discover. You can intentionally invite characters in, right? But there's also a really great deal of insight available to the space that is created for you, that you go into. Hey, Serenity. That you go into and that you sit within that space. It's a really exciting thing, and it's the way that I have cultivated my round table, and yeah, and it's why why the characters sometimes change at my table. Nice, Ellie. I don't have Yoda on my altar right now. I have some trolls and some ducks, an elephant and some mice, a frog, a dead bat, owl feathers, a variety of things. You want to see me? I know, I haven't seen you in a while. I'll come over in a second, honey. Crows were talking at this moment. They are one of my... Oh, Beth, I missed this. I was like, prom? What are you guys talking about, prom? My prom date ditched me to dance with the Yoda cardboard cutout. Wasn't mad. I have a picture. Oh, it's usually like right here in the RV. I'll show you guys. If you remind me, I'll show you guys next time. I have a picture from junior prom. I didn't go to senior prom, where I went with Superman. So for our photo, Superman was holding me. Yeah. You have a taxidermy bat done ethically. Awesome. I sourced this one also from a really cool place, a local place, not here in Oregon, but this bat. Yeah, back there, up on the window. So, come find me in the Discord. Come join me in the Discord. At the very least, come join me for class, right? Monday, I am live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm oftentimes on earlier, especially here on TikTok, and I do random lives here on TikTok too because I can take it with me and it's the phone. Replays for all the classes are available up to a week on YouTube. I'm at Move with Change. I am at Move with Change on all the platforms that you hang out on, but I go live on TikTok, YouTube, and one other platform. Right now it's been Instagram, and I hang out in Discord. So the best way to get in touch with me is in Discord or through TikTok or maybe YouTube, but YouTube's kind of hard to see the comments, or through Patreon or Linktree and whatnot. Tawanda! Shh. Now I gotta go watch Fried Green Tomatoes, but it makes me cry too much. It's like a fucking roller coaster. I can't do that one anymore. I'm gonna go eat some delicious food. I hope that you cultivate some perspective. Here's the mudra for perspective, the Ashvaratna Mudra, the mudra for perspective. Bring your hands together, leave your thumbs and your pinkies and your ring fingers touching. Interlace your pointer and your middle fingers. Create just a little space in there. Ashvaratna translates to the most excellent of horses, or the many jeweled horse. Place it here at your chest and invite perspective. Remember that the Grinch lives in Whoville, and Whoville is just a little tiny town on a speck of dust. That big bad Grinch, that big bad fear that's here to mess up your day is actually just even smaller than a speck. All you gotta do is take the magnifying glass away. I know it's hard. Put down the monocles. Enjoy your perspective shift today. Be gentle with your inner space. Offer yourself some love and compassion. Remember that to cultivate a trusting relationship with ourselves, it's important to show up for ourselves every single day. Today is the only day you have. But I don't have time to show up for self-care every day. I don't have any time. I'm too busy, and all the kids and all the people and all the jobs and all the things. I love you. You can do 5 minutes. My favorite practice again. Set your alarm in the morning, or set yourself a timer at night, whatever you need to do. And for those 5 minutes, just cultivate your intention and your attention. Just meet yourself with curiosity and willingness. Hear this. Hear this. I said curiosity and willingness. Not love, not compassion, not grace, not gentleness. There are times where it is really fucking hard to meet ourselves with love and compassion and grace. And I'm not encouraging you to fake it. Just the opposite. Maybe not opposite. What I'm inviting you to do is practice spending those 5 minutes just being with it. Doesn't matter what mood you're in. I guarantee that spending 5 minutes with yourself is going to make some kind of shift, is going to create a little more space. Lab, thank you, and all of you for helping me to cultivate this space. I can't do it by myself. You guys do a lot to help me cultivate this space. I appreciate it so much, and I'm grateful for all of you I see filtering into Discord. Yay! I will go... Friday. What's today? Friday. We're going to still try Yoga Nidra. I've been trying to get Yoga Nidra going. I don't know how to do it properly. Like, I'm trying to figure out, because Yoga Nidra, I want to do like a nice little cultivated thing, so maybe I'll just record it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm still trying to get a Yoga Nidra session going on Friday evenings, so I'll let you guys know about that. Okay. I love you, Instagram. I'll see you later. I love you too, YouTube. I'll see you later. I love you too, dog.